weeks without the game in the middle.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. We've been working really hard over the past 5 or 6 weeks to get our structures and to get our program into a place where we feel really comfortable with it. And I think that as a result of that hard work, it's just nice to have some time away and for the girls to refresh and reset. We obviously trained over that period of time and made sure that we continued to learn and evolve and develop. But I think the time away for us is more of a refresh and reset more than anything. So we're ready to go for today, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I guess it's a team, North Melbourne's a team we really enjoy watching. It seems like there's a lot of excitement in the group. Is that something that comes across too when you are at training and when you're getting prepped for games, that there's a real positive feeling around?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one of the things about the girls is that, and we spoke about at length, is obviously with 2020 and COVID and lots of things happening there, and I guess the opportunities were really limited, and for some to have played zero footy over that year. So the hunger and excitement to be back at football and to go through those weekly routines of training and getting around the girls and playing is certainly something that we haven't taken for granted, and we're really enjoying being back at Arden St this year, that's for sure.
Now, Shane, it looks like we're getting a typical Melbourne day today. We've got sun, we've got rain, we've got wet, it's interesting conditions. How do the girls approach sort of the wet, slippery conditions? Is there things that you change structurally as well? And how do you get them in the mindset to be able to play football with changing conditions out there today?
Yeah, I think in terms of our structures, we won't change too much, but I think obviously with our ball use, we need to be a little bit mindful not to overhandball and to try and control the football at ground level. So I think whichever team today controls the football at the source and is able to play their brand of footy and to move the footy in a way which is conducive to the conditions is really important. So we'll probably pull back some parts of our game in terms of our ball movement, but structure I think will be very similar. Yeah,
and just from the league and the club as a perspective, there's all talk always about the VFLW development and how it's coming along. How has the club sort of developed as a collective, and how do you see the VFLW league developing as we go on in years? It seems, from what I'm looking at, that the skills and the structures and adherence to structures from coaches looks to have improved as the year's gone on.
Yeah, it certainly seems like from a league perspective that the time investment and the resourcing in players and not only developing players who've played football for a long time, but also cross-coders and players that are new to the game. I think that's a really exciting part of what each club is trying to do. And certainly in North Melbourne, we've worked really hard at having a number of development coaches across our program that can give that close quarter feedback and development to players. So I think it's a really exciting time for women's footy. I think the league as a whole is collectively getting better, and I'm sure it'll continue to provide opportunities for AFLW clubs to lift those girls who continue to improve in a way which I guess they can play a role at a high level.
Yeah, one of those exciting players is Rennie Hicks. She was really impressive in her debut for North Melbourne a couple of weeks ago. What does she bring to the side now she's jumped in and starting to play really well?
Yeah, I think she's one player that obviously with AFLW experience at Carlton gives us some leadership and really shows us the way through the midfield. I think that she's been playing some really good footy up in the Northern Territory, and part of their premiership win up there at Pint. And I think that for us, she brings some hardness around the concepts, and I think just her ability to lead and to, like I said, show the girls the way, I think it's been really critical for us.
Well, Shane, thank you very much for joining us today, and all the best for today against Darebin and for the rest of the year. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Shane Webster there, the head coach of North Melbourne VFLW. Bit of a chance for them to get a good percentage booster today and probably push themselves up into the 18. But we'll get to a quick break, and straight after the break, we'll potentially be joined by Darebin coach Mitch Scully, and we'll go over the round 6 VFLW games. There were 2 games played this morning. You're listening to the Women's Australian Rules Football Radio broadcast of North Melbourne v the Darebin Falcons.
The average person spends 44 minutes a day thinking about food. At Oz Harvest, thinking about food is a full-time job because we're always looking for new ways to nourish our country and combat food waste and hunger. Every day, we rescue quality surplus food across Australia and deliver it to those who'd otherwise go hungry. And you can help. Every dollar donated to Oz Harvest can provide 2 meals to people in need. Visit ozharvest.org. Thought for food.
There are plenty of classic hits radio stations, but this is where GoRadio.live is different. We unashamedly select the best music from our chosen era. We develop programs that provide the music with minimal interruption. For many hours of the day, you won't hear any announcers, just great music and the occasional station ID. We let the music play through until the end, no crossfades, and no announcers talking over the start and end of tracks. We think you're going to love GoRadio.live, radio as it should be. Check it out at www.goradio.live or download the free app from Google Play or the App Store.
They're my grandkids. Gee, they can make some noise. But you know what? It's a beautiful sound because they're alive and having fun. The sound I hate is silence in the pool. When a child drowns, you hear nothing. No splashing, no cries for help. Be vigilant around water. Fence the pool, shut the gate. I teach your kids to swim, it's great. Supervise, watch your mate, and learn how to resuscitate. I'm Laurie Lawrence. Kids Alive, do the 5.
Draft Central is entering a new era, covering all the state leagues, from the VFLW, Sample W, Waffle W and Quaffle W, as well as their primary focus, the NAB League Girls. Draft Central has you covered when it comes to all you need to know about the future stars of the AFL Women's. Draft Central, brought to you by Rookie Me, is now on YouTube, so be sure to subscribe at Draft Central, as well as on our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages at Draft Central Oz.
It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day.
Here on the Women's Australian Rules Football Radio broadcast of this round 6 VFLW clash between North Melbourne and Darebin at Arden St. I'm your host and play-by-play caller today, Paul Sebastiani. Lauren Borden joining us as well. Peter Holden on the boundary too. But without further ado, we'll be greeted by Darebin coach Mitch Scully. Mitch, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good to have a chat.
Yeah, definitely. Now, last week, obviously, a bit of a disappointing result against the Southern Saints. What did you take away from the game last week?
Yeah, that was a tough one. I think we probably were a little bit light on for players last week. We had a few out due to injury, so a couple back in this week, which is great. But what we took out of it was we really thought we, especially in the first half, controlled the game a bit better, like our pace with the ball coming out of the back line and hitting up the short. So that was a big focus, knowing that we were up against a good side that would control the footy. So I thought we did that pretty well and something we can carry forward, yeah.
And what are you looking for today? Obviously, yes, winless at the moment, but obviously you're looking to put just certain things in play that you'll be pleased with. Even if you can't get the 4 points today, what would you be most pleased with if you can see your side put it in place?
Yeah, a couple of things. Probably want to make sure we're reducing the number of opposition marks inside our defensive 50. So we put it on our defenders that they've got to really bring in that defence-first mentality. On the other hand, down the other end, we probably didn't get enough forward entries last week. So we're looking for a bit more from our midfield to work the ball forward and give the forwards a chance. So we reckon we've got, players that can put a score on the board. Just the last couple of games against Essendon and the Saints, they probably haven't had that opportunity. So yeah, there are a couple of things we're looking to bring into this week, and if we can put it all together, hopefully the result takes care of itself.
Now, Mitch, Samara David last week, 17 touches and 10 tackles. What she brought into the side from a talent point of view and from a leadership point of view?
Like Sammy, we know she's a player that she's got heaps of footy smart. So, she played a really big role in 2019 season, up forward mostly, a little bit down back. This year, we've used her at both ends of the ground. So last week, she actually started as a wing and then kind of plays like a defensive winger. So it was really helpful for us in terms of she intercept marks, but also that defensive pressure. Like you mentioned, her tackles. I think this year she's averaging like 9 tackles a game, which for a sort of small forward is pretty huge. So yeah, we just want her to bring that again. And in terms of leadership, like she's just a great personality. She's always working hard on the track, but she's always cracking a joke and making everyone laugh, which is what footy's about, just as much as anything else.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's great to hear. She's a really good presence on the training track. And looking at a little bit of leadership, any chance of Aston O'Connor coming back into the Darebin fold now she's retired from AFLW?
Asta, I don't know about Asta. I think she's got a few knee operations to have. So, yeah, I think we'll let Asta enjoy her retirement in the next phase of her life. But if she does want to pull the boots on, she's more than welcome as a past Darebin legend.
Yeah, and just with the conditions today, I was talking to North Melbourne before. I mean, we're getting typical Melbourne 4 sets in one day. With the conditions sort of changing in the slippery grass out there, how do you go about sort of changing the girls' mindset if the rain sort of does come, and how do you change things structurally, or what is it? What do you do from a coach perspective?
Yeah, good question. Like, we've played our last 3 games, it's been chucking it down rain. So I think if there's anything if there's anything we're used to, it's wet weather conditions. So we're actually just looking forward to hopefully the rain staying away. The radar looks pretty good, but I reckon today the wind will have a fair impact on the game, so it's sort of blowing down towards that corner of, I don't even know the names of the roads around here, to be honest, opposite the club room side corner. So I reckon we'll see a bit of footy on the far wing. So it'll be about adapting our positioning and making sure our defenders and forwards are playing smart to read those conditions, yeah.
I like that, the opposite side of the ground pocket, so that'll be a nice one we'll be going with. And I guess you've got Ash coming in today. How much of a boost does she give to the side?
Oh, yeah, Sid's, awesome, she's, been rucking really well. I don't think she's been out-rucked this year. Every game she's played, she's had more hit-outs than her opposition. So that's great for us. It gives our midfield a chance to be a bit more on the front foot. Last week we had Alyssa Mifsud and Sally Lynch, waxing in the ruck, and they're our forwards, not, they're backups at best, if that makes sense. So, it gives us a chance to structure up a bit better with two key position forwards in a ruck this week. So, Sid's great, and, it also brings in a lot of physical presence with the size and athleticism.
Now, I mean, just looking at sort of the competition from a macro level and zooming out from the club, how have you seen the development of VFLW and AFLW as a whole this year?
Yeah, look, VFLW is interesting because obviously it's a bit of a different structure, being the first 6 or 5 rounds unaligned with AFLW. So it's probably been a really good chance for players who want to establish themselves at this level to do that. And we're a club that wants to give people a chance to play footy at this level. Obviously, we still want to bring in some AFLW talent. We've got a couple of people who'll come in over the next few weeks that'll give us that sort of top end. But then, our focus is on developing the players we've got and giving people a chance to play good level footy at this level. Whereas you look at some of the other teams, perhaps, you saw this week clubs making 10 changes from their team in round 5. So maybe other clubs, their focus is on bringing back AFLW talent. So it's a bit of a different approach that everyone's taking, and you got to do what works for you, I guess. Well,
Mitch, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time, and all the best today and for the rest of the year.
No worries, anytime, and hopefully we have a good day and the rain stays away for us.
No worries. Mitch Scully, the Darebin VFLW head coach, joining us there. So even despite the 10-goal loss line, they're still up and about, which is good to hear.
What a positive guy, Mitch. He's really nice to chat to, nice to listen to, and good to hear that they're going for development there, so maybe we won't see... He did hint, though, at a few changes coming in the next few weeks, but maybe we won't see a plethora of changes like potentially North Melbourne and other clubs around.
I reckon he played that beautifully. He played that beautifully with the straight back. We'll probably have an announcement on their website over the next couple of weeks, so keep an eye for them. But we'll get to a quick break, and on the other side of this, we'll get to the round 6 VFLW scores from earlier this morning. You're listening to the Women's Australian Rules football broadcast of this round 6 clash between North Melbourne and Darebin at Arden Street.
Hey guys, I'm Jess. And I'm Lisa from the Veronicas for RAD. Recording artists, actors and athletes against drink driving. What does it mean to be a designated driver? It means you're the friend who's agreed not to drink, not the person who's had the least to drink. It's cool to do and it shows you care about your friends. If you screw up just once, then your life changes forever. Face it, their lives are in your hands. So why don't you and your friends take it in turns to be the designated driver when you go out? You'll make the road safer for all of us.
The average person spends 44 minutes a day thinking about food. At Oz Harvest, thinking about food is a full-time job because we're always looking for new ways to nourish our country and combat food waste and hunger. Every day, we rescue quality surplus food across Australia and deliver it to those who'd otherwise go hungry. And you can help. Every dollar donated to Oz Harvest can provide 2 meals to people in need. Visit ozharvest.org. Thought for food.
Hey, Gary, what time you call this?
Yeah, the traffic is really bad. Oh, there's Steve-o. G'day, Steve.
Morning.
How's your weekend?
Same old, same old.
What'd you get up to?
Not much. Are you okay, mate?
Looking out for one another is something we all need to do. So if a mate's struggling, ask, are you okay? Listen, encourage action, and check in again soon. Those 4 steps could change their life. Find out more at ruok.org.au.
Hi, Kirk Pingilly from InXS here. And whether it's music, sweet things, puppies, movies, we all love our treats. But our eyes need treating too. 300,000 Australians, including me, are affected by glaucoma. Diagnosed early, glaucoma can be managed. Left undiagnosed, it can cause blindness. So treat yourself by treating your eyes to a simple test. Book your test at treatyoureyes.org.au today.
It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day.
Yes, it is indeed the round 6 broadcast between North Melbourne and Darebin here at Arden St. Oval. I'm your play-by-play caller and host today, Paul Sebastiani, joined in the studio by Lauren Borden. We await Lisa, Coach Kiwi Roper. She's down there on the boundary. She'll be joining us very, very shortly. And Peter Holden, our match boundary rider today as well. But just quickly going around the grounds, Lauren, we've had some results today in round 6 earlier this morning. It was Essendon overcoming Hawthorne for about the second time in 2 weeks that they've played, isn't it? Sort of like an NBA fixture.
Yeah, a little bit odd.
They're going. Yeah, Essendon 4-5-29, defeating an inaccurate Hawthorne 1-10-16. That game there down at Box Hill City Oval, and the Southern Saints overcoming Williamstown 5-5-35 to Williamstown 4-1-25. So a little bit of moving and shaking around the VFLW ladder as we prepare for this game. North Melbourne and Darebin taking each other on here, and they're both out on the ground going through their warm-ups, but looks like the rain's going to stay away, Lauren.
Yeah, it does a little bit. The sun came out for a little bit just a couple of minutes ago. Quite wet out there. Went out just before we went on air to put my hand on the ground. It is very slippery on the ground. That there was enough rain today where it wasn't heavy, but it was just that persistent rain that's definitely made it wet underfoot, and I think it'll make the ball slippery from the first bounce.
So potentially expecting low score here if anyone's having a play, take the unders for the total score, I think. But
sounds like it wasn't too low scoring Southern Saints v Williams.
Yeah, well, what do we have? Yes, well, 35-25, and then the earlier game, Essendon 29-16. So Hawthorne inaccurate there. Just one goal 10. Haven't seen anything like that for quite a while. Now, this game today, I mean, we're talking about North Melbourne and their finals chances too, and their 2 and 3 percentage has taken a bit of a hit, 67%. Now, I think they would also look at this game with a sense of opportunity to really hurt Darebin too. But what I noticed too, and what was really interesting in the chat we had just prior to the break with Darebin coach Scully, just his positive attitude. We spoke about it. I think that's something that you need from a coach, especially after being pregnant with Melton last week. But what was positive is that he said that they were able to control the ball. It's probably now just about getting that ball, and he said delivering inside the ball, didn't find their targets.
And I think you do hear some coaches when you do say, oh, if you're not able to get 4 points and they're very defensive, sometimes it can say, no, well, we're always out to win. Whereas I think he's taken a little bit of a different approach of, no, we've got a few key things to focus on. Like you said, a little bit more entry into the forward 50. And like you said, at the opposite of the ground as well, not giving up too many opportunities defensively, really exiting the defensive 50 as well as they can, as safely as they can.
Well, I think you look at it too, and you think when you're sort of a side in the situation that Darebin are on 5, low percentage, you can go into these games to playing defensively, but then it almost sort of almost crushes the spirit of the team. It's like, oh well, we might not have the talent to go at them, and that's the mindset you're going to the game with. Look, I don't mind defence.
Yep.
Being a soccer fan and loving my Italian football, that's part of their game. That's what they base. That's what a lot of premiership teams base winning on. But I think when you're down in the doldrums like that, sometimes just swinging out, coming out, and actually taking the game on and going a long way. I'd like to see that today. I don't know what you think about it, but I'd like to see them have a crack.
Yeah, I am with you in the defensive mindset. I think getting that right is always the best way to go in the short term. Sometimes it doesn't look like that on the scoreboard, but it'll be good just to see them attack the football a little bit, like Mitch was talking about Samara David. Obviously, she'll be key in that, and he said they've been throwing her around a little bit, so it's interesting to hear she's also been dropping back a little bit more defensively. When she's such a gun player, she'll be able to carry the ball forward. But I think really for Darebin, it's kind of their goal scoring. I think Samara David is the only multiple goal scorer for the year for them, so they've struggled a little bit to put that score on the board. It's potentially, it's not really down to accuracy, but more just down to entry. So they just haven't been able to get that down there. They've just scored 7 goals for the year, I think, across 5 games. So it's a bit of an issue there.
Now we quickly go through the actual ins and outs for both teams. Now North Melbourne making a host of changes in this game. As many as 6 players are coming out and going in. So we'll start with Cowan, Moore, Amalung, Taylor, Woods and Gashi all coming in. Smith, Hamilton, Hammond, Nesta, Wallace, Greenacre, all parting way. And well, Shane Webster did make mention that the AFLW girls are going to get a bit of a rest, so it'll give a chance for a few of the VFLW girls to come in and make a name for themselves. And for Darebin, we've got Callanan coming in, Kubash coming in, and Alamali coming out with McCardle coming out of the side as well. So only the two changes for Darebin. Yeah, that's a little bit of an advantage over Melbourne's today. That sort of chopping and changing for Melbourne might just upset a few things. Maybe I'm plucking at straws here.
I thought they normally take teams in unchanged when they win, but you're just going with the opposite. But no, two very big ins for Darebin, so I think that'll be a huge help for them against North Melbourne today.
Now, from an individual perspective, who are we looking out for both teams today? I've got my eyes at the moment set on the forward Kira Price. I thought she'd be good, and Rennie Hicks as well. I liked her game against Williamstown a few weeks ago, and as Coach Shane Webster said, she provides leadership, run and carry as well, and she's got that experience.
I thought she looked strong at Carlton too,
yeah.
During her AFLW games as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's definitely up there. Obviously, we know how good Skinner is in the middle. I'm sure she'll be another prolific ball getter, so it'll be interesting how Darebin goes about stopping her, or whether they really put too much emphasis on that, or they just go and play their own game. But I think she'll be key through the middle there as well.
And making mention to individuals as well, Samara David was fantastic for the Falcons last week, to Jenna Taylor-Dawson as well, Alyssa Mixon to Nicole Callanan. So look, they do have some players on the park that, you know, North Melbourne are going to have to be wary of. You can't, I mean, you still got to bring the heat no matter what team you play. It doesn't matter what area of the ladder they're on, you've still got to be able to bring the heat, because if you're 5 to 10% off, doesn't matter what level you're at,
you get caught out.
Yeah, exactly right. So I think this is going to be a test of the professionalism of North Melbourne and their legitimate claims to making finals this year, which, I mean, obviously we've still got a fair way of the season to go. Looks like it probably, you know, with a win today and potentially percentage boost we're talking about, it might catapult them up the ladder.
Yeah, exactly. But they will have to, like you mentioned, look out for Darebin a little bit, quite a high pressure side. Yeah, they've got to earn it. And I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier in the broadcast. The ball will be brought to ground a fair bit today because it's slippery, and I think that's where Darebin could jump on it. They're quite a strong tackling side, quite a strong pressure side. So that might play a little bit to their advantage if they can force the ball onto the ground and slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, both teams obviously still going to their watch. Now, from an AFLW perspective, we've got the finals coming up, and this is going to be huge. Obviously, it's all broadcast live to air, which is fantastic. That's what we're looking for, and just feels like the season is just everything's starting to bubble away with the competition.
Yeah, it sure does. It was kind of looking just at North Melbourne, I guess, because we're there for the day. Obviously, what an end to the season their AFLW side had. A little bit similar to their VFLW side, in just that excitement and enthusiasm. And obviously, last couple of games of the season propelled them into the finals. Couldn't get over the line last week, but I thought they acquitted themselves really well against Collingwood. Without maybe, I think it was only a 6-point margin, was it? Yeah. But I think Collingwood always looked like, or always seemed, you know, when there's a little bit of a feeling that they were going to win. But I think North Melbourne did really well in a final after probably scraping in there by some fantastic performances in the last couple of games.
The momentum at the moment is Melbourne. So I'm saying this with a heavy heart because I'm a big Carlton fan. But we do have an AFLW final today between Adelaide and Melbourne, and Daisy Pearce hasn't been named, which is a bit of a shame. She hurt her knee in the last game of the home and away season. So look, a bit of heartbreak there. But if they do go through, I think she may get good enough to come back in. It's just a shame not to be able to see a trailblazer play in the finals.
From those days back when she was doing the fixtures before there was even an AFLW, it's hard to remember those days, but back when they were just a couple of showcase games a year that she's missed out on a couple of key finals. But I think that match, I'm probably going to tip Adelaide in that match. I think they've just got a little bit of the edge, but I think it's the Brisbane v Collingwood one that I'm finding hard to tip. I think the Pies might get over the line, even though they've gone up to the Gabba.
Yep.
Like you said, they're on an absolute roll.
Yeah, it's a splitting hairs, I think, between those two games. So yeah, Adelaide and Melbourne from 2:10 p.m. at Adelaide Oval, and Brisbane versus Collingwood at 4:10 p.m. from the Gabba. So two big preliminary finals coming up in the AFLW as we both teams on. I think North Melbourne have just come off the ground. Darebin's still going through their warm-ups. We've got about 15 minutes until the first bounce in this one. And just recapping the results from earlier games this morning, in case you weren't aware, Essendon defeating Hawthorne 4-5, 29, Hawthorne 1-10, 16, and the Southern Saints doing the job over Williamstown 5-5, 35 to Williamstown 4-1, 25. We'll quickly take a break on the Women's Australian Rules Football radio broadcast of this round 6 game between North Melbourne and Darebin, and we'll be joined in the box now by Coach Kiwi Lisa Roper. You're listening to this round 6 broadcast of the VFLW season.
Hey guys, I'm Jess. And I'm Lisa from the Veronicas for RAD. Recording artists, actors and athletes against drink driving. What does it mean to be a designated driver? It means you're the friend who's agreed not to drink, not the person who's had the least to drink. It's cool to do and it shows you care about your friends. If you screw up just once, then your life changes forever. Face it, their lives are in your hands. So why don't you and your friends take it in turns to be the designated driver when you go out? You'll make the road safer for all of us.
The average person spends 44 minutes a day thinking about food. At Oz Harvest, thinking about food is a full-time job because we're always looking for new ways to nourish our country and combat food waste and hunger. Every day, we rescue quality surplus food across Australia and deliver it to those who'd otherwise go hungry. And you can help. Every dollar donated to Oz Harvest can provide 2 meals to people in need. Visit ozharvest.org. Thought for food.
Hey, Gary, what time you call this?
Yeah, the traffic was really bad. Oh, there's Steve. G'day, Steve. Morning. How's your weekend? Same old, same old. What'd you get up to? Not much.
Are you okay, mate?
Looking out for one another is something we all need to do. So if a mate's struggling, ask, are you okay? Listen, encourage action, and check in again soon. Those 4 steps could change their life. Find out more at ruok.org.au.
Hi, Kirk Pingilly from In Excess here. And whether it's music, sweet things, puppies, movies, we all love our treats. But our eyes need treating too. 300,000 Australians, including me, are affected by glaucoma. Diagnosed early, glaucoma can be managed. Left undiagnosed, it can cause blindness. So treat yourself by treating your eyes to a simple test. Book your test at treatyoureyes.org.au today.
It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day.
Yes, welcome back to the Women's Australian Rules Football radio football broadcast of this round 6 clash between North Melbourne and Darebin at Arden St. The sun is just peeping through these grey clouds hanging over the ground here, and I'm your host and play-by-play caller Paul Sebastiani, and now we're finally joined by Coach Kiwi Lisa Roper. Welcome, Lisa. You are coaching the Fitzroy Stars this morning. How did it all go?
Yeah, it was a good hit out for the club. First time ever in their history that they've had a women's team in the local competition. So, really big deal down at the club. When we had Arnie Esme come down and address the team. She's the president of the Advanced Aboriginal League. And we had Uncle Phil Cooper come down, who's a descendant from Sir Doug Nichols, so we get to play at Sir Doug Nichols Oval. We had Tasha Gamble, who led us for our connecting country, walked around with the vehicle. 8:30 in the morning that was. It was a very early morning. 10 a.m. was our actual game start, but yeah, lots going on.
Now focusing our attention to this game, how do we see this one playing out? Obviously Darebin 0-5, North Melbourne 2-3, looking to push their way up into finals contention. How are we seeing this bearing today?
Yeah, look, obviously Darebin are going to go into this game as hard as they can. They know that they've been on the receiving end of some tough results, had a couple of close matches, and really need to bring their A game. I think North have got the experience around the park. They've got some good-sized bodies, and Darebin, this is really a chance now. They've got Nikki Callahan who's come in. I think she'll bring a lot of extra experience, speed through that midfield area too. I guess they'll play her out the wing even though she punchy too.
Yeah, looking forward to this game. Obviously, both teams coming into this one. North Melbourne coming in off a close win last week against Williamstown. It was a good result for them. 4-6-30 defeating Williamstown 4-2-26. And we'll go through the goal kickers. Actually, Skinner kicking the goal there last week. Keeley right morning getting on the score sheet as well. So look, Megan Keeley, obviously captain. Leadership's going to be essential out there today, especially with the slippery conditions. How have you seen her this year? She's obviously a big leader for this club, and she's had a fantastic year by the looks of it, averaging 19 disposals and 5 tackles a game. She's going to be the leader out there.
And she's just strong in every aspect, and I think that's what makes her the great player she is. She's a strong marker. Like you said, she's 15 disposals that she's averaging something.
19 touches and 5 tackles a game.
19 touches, 5 tackles, strong in the air, strong on the ground. She's strong across the ground, and I think that's what makes her and Skinner such a dominant combination.
Now, Coach Kiwi, I was speaking to the head coaches of both Darebin and North Melbourne about the development of the league and development of individuals down in VFLW and at AFLW level. How have you seen it come across this year?
Yeah, I think the way the league is set up, it actually offers more opportunity for more players to get exposure at the VFLW level. Certainly, I know down at Collingwood, our squad of 30 this year, probably you look at maybe 7 or 8 players with us in 2019 or in our squad in 2019, where we won the premiership for current defending champions. Absolutely. Whereas we've got a whole bunch of new girls coming this year who, most of them are getting a first taste at VFLW level. So I think it's exciting for them and exciting for potential recruiters already. I know there's one that's had a couple of interviews already, even though she's not in the under-19 pool. So I just love it when recruiters get around old players.
Yeah, now obviously sports is being improved. Do you feel that they're starting to become more of a push towards, obviously there's always going to be development down the VFLW and AFLW and given the stage where the competitions are at, but do you feel that sort of professionalism is starting to creep in a bit more?
Yeah, without a doubt, we absolutely aim to win. We do huge development programs, especially at Collingwood. I'm going to say it's huge and it's really important because I am a development coach down there, where we work on every aspect of the female athlete to build her up, whether it's a strength program, speed program. There's one of them we had to actually work with her relearning how to run because her landing gait was actually quite an awkward one that gave her some shin problems. Yeah. So just even right down to that, and then obviously a lot of skills, whether it's ground balls or aerial balls. So development-wise, you're really, really important. But when we go down to we preview games, we analyse the opposition. It's all about the win. Whereas the NAB League is quite development. So if you get the win, it's great.
Of course.
But a lot of the coaches collaborate. So our coach at Sandy will go off to Calder and sit through their trainings and see what they do that he can bring across. So the NAB League is much more about the development across the board and sort of profiling the better players so that they can get seen by the recruiters to get drafted. So less about the wins of the women's side. Yeah. It's all about the wins of the men's side on there, down there.
Naturally, there we go. The insight there from Coach Kiwi as Darebin and North Melbourne make their way out onto the ground. There's about 7 minutes until the first bounce here, round 6 action between North Melbourne and the Darebin Falcons. We'll take a quick little break, and on the other side, it'll be the first bounce.
A tough time doesn't excuse abusive behaviour at home. Even in crisis, there's no place for domestic or family violence. If you, your family or community is affected, help is available online and by phone 24/7. For free, confidential advice, support and counselling for everyone, contact 1-800-RESPECT. There's no place for domestic or family violence. Help is here. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
How often should you wash your hands?
Maybe around 9 times a day. 4?
Like 20?
Maybe twice a day.
Whenever they feel dirty. When should you wash your hands?
After you touch some raw meat and before starting to eat. At the beginning, I wash my hands before preparing food.
How would you rate your knowledge of food safety?
Probably like an 8 out of 10. 6 or 7.
7.5. Learn more at foodsafety.asn.au/food safety training. Food safety, it's in your hands.
Been playing for a while. Sweet kicks. This footy makes you smile. Sweet Hicks football. If you're getting ready for the trials, gotta go the extra mile. Sweet Hicks football.
Not always hearing that sweet sound when you kick the ball? Need to develop your footwork or explosive speed? Want to take the next step in your footy career? Then you need Sweet Kicks. More info on our Facebook page or go to our website, sweetkicksfootballacademy.com.au.
Gotta go the extra mile. Sweet Kicks football.
They're my grandkids. Gee, they can make some noise. But you know what? It's a beautiful sound because they're alive and having fun. The sound I hate is silence in the pool. When a child drowns, you hear nothing. No splashing, no cries for help. Be vigilant around water. Fence the pool, shut the gate. I teach your kids to swim, it's great. Supervise, watch your mate, and learn how to resuscitate. I'm Laurie Lawrence. Kids Alive, do the 5.
It's Anna Mears winning gold.
Hey, I'm Anna Mears. Winning gold at the Olympics was an incredible feeling, and having my biggest rival, who I'd just beaten, right up next to me and lift my hand in victory topped off an amazing moment. We'd had our fair share of clashes over the years, but in the end we both respected each other, and that's what really counts in sport. Be gracious in victory and in defeat. To keep your sport inclusive, safe and fair, go to playbytherules.net.au.
Elder abuse can take many forms. Financial abuse is the most common.
He said, Mum, I'll get money for you. I gave him my card. He's my son.
And then I got a call from the bank manager.
I never expected this from the daughter.
If I don't change my will, I can't see the grandkids again.
For free confidential support, call 1-800-ELDER-HELP. That's 1-800-353-374.
The average person spends 44 minutes a day thinking about food. At Oz Harvest, thinking about food is a full-time job because we're always looking for new ways to nourish our country and combat food waste and hunger. Every day, we rescue quality surplus food across Australia and deliver it to those who'd otherwise go hungry. And you can help. Every dollar donated to Oz Harvest can provide 2 meals to people in need. Visit ozharvest.org. Thought for food.
No business wants to throw money away. But did you know sending resources to landfill can be more expensive than recycling them? Planet Ark's free business recycling service can kickstart your workplace recycling journey, help you find the right recycling solutions and give you a competitive edge. 1 million Australians using business recycling. Visit businessrecycling.com.au. It's just good business.
Are you ready for the challenge? Are you ready for the match? It's the call of the game. It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day. It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day.
That it is indeed, and both teams getting into position here for this round 6 clash in VFLW between North Melbourne and Darebin. North Melbourne to kick towards the city and Darebin to do their kicking towards the Fogarty Street. And without further ado, Lauren Borden will take us away for the first bounce here at Arden Street.
The umpire throws the ball up, ready to get underway with this round 6 match. Getting the tap out there was Sarek, and North Melbourne move it straight towards their forward 50. Will settle a long half forward here as North Melbourne just goes a little bit back with a handball there across to Cox, who gets it across to her teammate with another short handball. When it goes into the 50, not quite being able to hang on to it there was Skinner. She's been prolific across the season, but the ball gets onto the hands of Hicks, who passes it off, and it still stays in North Melbourne's possession. Back to Skinner. Skinner gets it away, and it comes into the hands of Reynolds, who will kick it 15 metres down. She finds her teammate in Fitzgerald, who's able to mark 15 metres out from the goals at the pool end of the ground.
Very fast start.
Very fast start from there from North Melbourne, and what we might have been expecting here against Darebin. So it'll be a kick, slide, angle, kick 15 metres out to put North Melbourne on the board for the first score of the day here on their home turf at Arden Street. Just a little pops over the top home side here leading 1 goal straight, 6, leading Darebin. No score, 1 minute into the first term here at Arden St.
How fast was that?
Yeah, what a start. That's exactly what Darebin needed to do. So, yeah, North on the ball. Great clearance. Keeley, big Keeley picked that up straight to the midfield there and sent it forward. Just, it was a 2v1. Darebin was not a handful in the back line there, and North has picked out the better option. Clean mark. 30 metres out.
So, fast start here for North Melbourne. Sarek and Kubash to do battle in the ruck again as we resume hostilities. That bounce their favourite Sarek, but Falcons will get the clearance through Byrne. And the quick mark there taken by Samara David. She's going to have to be prolific today for Falcons to reach. She drives it inside forward 50. Bounce off the chest of a North Melbourne defender. Kubash, quick kick towards full forward. Players there for North Melbourne. They get back in numbers and they should be able to clear. Target hero here is Jess Morney. Spilt the mark though, and the Falcons go back towards full forward. And a good mark getting over the top to slow things down now. And they'll have a shot on goal, and it will go through Stephanie Simpson. So she's going to have the first shot on goal here for Darebin. They trail 1 straight 6 to get to score. Better ball movement and good lock inside their forward half there.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just actually thinking, why would you leave Steph out the back there? I think she's better as a half forward, but obviously she's got great hands. There you go.
There, the finish from Simpson. So the quick reply from Darebin. 1 straight 6 each of 2 here at Arden St. We've travelled just over 2.5 minutes inside the first quarter, and a good response there by the Falcons. So, well, I think that's what they're going to be needing to do. Win those clearances and lock in their forward half today. But look, good start for the Falcons. Answer back after defensively not putting as much pressure on as they maybe should have. But that's what they need to do more of, Coach Keegan.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe they will just take it a little bit easy and still celebrate what they do.
So we're all square here and the restart begins again. It's Darebin able to move it out of the centre via Byrne. She has been quite a good presence for Darebin again across the season, so she's trying to do what she can. But it'll be North Melbourne here are able to pull it back straight to the hands of Skinner. She's brought to ground there. But Darebin, 1 goal, 1-7, now leading North Melbourne 1 goal straight.
Yeah, she really needed to kick that through the big sticks. North had a +1 in defence, and somehow Darebin were able to get the ball out the back of that and
From the kick in, it'll be former Falcon Molly Eastman. Her kick just fell short of her target there, who was Price. And they're put under pressure here in North Melbourne. They do work it up towards half-back. Ball gets out the back of the pack, and out the back there was Gunn. She gathers it, gives a quick little handle to Camilleri. Ball towards forward 50 for the Falcons. Coming in for the Kangaroos, there was Keeley, the captain. Put her head over the football. Kubash in there as well for the Falcons. Ball falls out the back, and they've got numbers here. Quick little pick up off the ground, and a quick kick forward by Runnels into the centre of the ground. Skinner was there, she couldn't take it. Falcons have got numbers here. They can try to work it out by a hand. Ball ends up now with Blackwood. Her little scrubber kick towards centre wing was intercepted though. Ball in dispute at the moment. North Melbourne and the Falcons really putting the heat on early in this game, and we're probably going to have a ball up. Good defensive pressure there by the Falcons to stop that run forward by North Melbourne. It is the Falcons who lead at 1-1-7. North Melbourne 1 straight 6.
So centre of the ground, 6 minutes gone in this first term at Arden St. It'll be North running onto this one by Slaney, who just dribbles along the ground here and gets it to a teammate who hands of none other than Skinner, who gets a quick hand pass out. And North will go with a string of handballs here to get the kick into the 50 from Morney, who goes quite long, 15 metres out from goal. North Melbourne have a chance here. Out-muscled on the ball there was Taylor. And the umpire will come in and he'll give the free kick to Taylor, who was taken high. She's got a chance here to put North Melbourne's second goal of the day on the board and put the home side back in front. She'll take her kick 20 metres out, slide ankle at the full end of the ground here at Arden Street. Slight breeze comes through the ground, puts it on the boot, pulls it way left. It won't make the distance. She's got a few teammates under it. Skinner was one of them, but it'll go out of bounds and it'll be a throw-in.
Yeah, now look, I'm looking at the wind in the tree, and I don't think it was blowing that much that way. Should have please got a voice that time.
Really blustery out there at the moment. So North Melbourne deep inside there for 50. Kubash in the ruck for the Falcons. Ball comes out the front of the pack. I think she may be taken high there, Runnels. No, umpire didn't see it. Stacks on the mill here. Plenty of plays over this one. We'll have another stoppage inside forward 50 for North Melbourne. They trail by a point early, 1-1-7 the Falcons. North Melbourne 1 straight 6, 12 minutes 30 remaining this quarter. Kubash again in the ruck. Over the ball was Runnels again, but the Falcons are going to get the clearance. Little handball over the top was okay to Callie Duparquet. She goes for a little bit of a run and the kick towards half forward. She's got acres of space here now, the Falcons. Plenty of time to just poise this. And Mara David, her kick was really well smothered there though by Cowan. And we'll have it tossed in. Centre wing outer side here at Arden Street. It's North Melbourne 1 straight 6, the Falcons 1-1-7. Just about to tick over 12 minutes of game time going into this first quarter as making her way from the field to Cheryl Byrne. She'll be replaced by Cheryl Byrne.
Cheryl Byrne, obviously she'll be a handy in. She'll see if she can run into the 50 here and stop the surge of North Melbourne as they go for another inside 50. And it'll be cut off there. Nice little juggling mark going to Blackwood there. So she hangs on to it for Darebin, does what Mitch Scully wanted in terms of holding up the defensive unit. But her kick, not what she would have liked. Her teammate's able to run onto it. And the handball's out from Byrne. The forced handball there. Little chip kick running onto it will be Camilleri. She can't hold gate control. That's a bit of a 3v1 there. And it's North Melbourne will go forward now. Pops up there and it's Hamilton, who's able to take the mark. So Alexia Hamilton, she's in the side. Her sister just omitted from the side for this week. So Hamilton's calling for a few options to come forward. She goes for the 20-metre kick onto the side. She finds her teammate who's pushed to the ground. She'll get the free kick, Fitzgerald, and is able to take a shot again within kicking distance. She'll kick from about 30 metres out on an angle again towards the full end of Arden Street. Like Coach Keeley said, not too much of a breeze here, so she won't need to aim too far either side. She'll go forward here to put North Melbourne into the lead again. So Fitzgerald going for a second goal for the day, fourth goal for the year. Swings it to the right, so it'll just be a behind. And the scores will be tied at Arden Street. North Melbourne 1 goal 1-7, playing Darebin exactly the same score.
So from the kick in, the Falcons look to go outside defensive 50 over the head of David. She can't control it. Puts a good amount of pressure on, but North Melbourne went out here. Quick little handball over the top was okay. Found Gashi. She's wrapped up though. They do well here, the Falcons, to win possession back. Quick little handball out by Rebel. She finds her nugget. Falcons work it up towards the defensive side of the wing. And they've got options in the middle, though. The kick just falling over at a crucial moment there was Byrne, and that lets North Melbourne in. They go inside forward 50 again. The big pack of players go up. The Falcons do well defensively. There's plenty of players around this one. Good pressure by North Melbourne. The Falcons do get the clearance, and now they've got a bit of time and space. Running onto the ball was Callanan. She comes out on this broadcast side wing, and it's a nice kick as well. Finds her target here, and that's Caddy. She marks on her chest. The Falcons doing well there defensively. Now they just hold it up. Short kick, not the best of kicks though. Let's North Melbourne in. They've got time and space here. The Bruce McDonald picks it up. She's wrapped up really well. And the free kick will go the way of Caddy. Really good tackle there. They're bringing the heat, Coach Keelan.
Yeah, they are, and that was a solid tackle. Hopefully they've made about 5 and up. It looks like they've got their match-ups a little bit better too. I think really good in this stuff. They're trying to get themselves to
So Caddy in the long sleeves pops it up to the pack and running onto it there is her teammate Ryder. Quite get her hands on the ball, but she'll get her hands on the ball now.
restart. It's Gashi trying to win clean possession of the ball. They flip it out here, North Melbourne. They've just been under siege here inside their defensive half. Quick little kick away there by Morn. Here comes towards this outer side here. Avalon's got a bit of time and space to use the football. Goes one way then the other. Good hard running there by Morn. She's probably going to get on the end of it, but no, the Falcons do well to gain possession again. Gunn. Quick little kick around the body, and now they're going to go inside forward 50 here, the Falcons. Big pack of players fly. Simpson couldn't take the mark. Snap around the body there by Mifsud was well smothered. And North do well to stifle that movement forward by the Falcons. And looks like we're probably going to have a ball up here, I think. Yeah, ball trickled over the boundary line and out of play. 7 minutes 23 remain in this first quarter. We're all locked away at 1-1-7 each of two. Hotly contested ball early.
So North Melbourne able to get themselves out of a little bit of trouble there, although they weren't able to press as far as they would have liked. So we'll have to throw in along the half-back line for North Melbourne. So the ball will be thrown in by the umpire as play restarts here at Arden St. A little bit in dispute. Darebin able to get the touch out, but running onto it there was great pick up by Morney. She sends it to a little bit of a pack, but Fitzgerald's able to just pick it out and hold it. And she starts to get a little bit of a run here. North Melbourne pressing back. They've got to get some numbers back here. Just the two players in the 50 at the moment for North Melbourne. Running onto it there looks to have been Keeley, so she'll just send it in, and it'll be a little bit of a foot race here. Running onto it is Alexia Hamilton. She tries to tap it across to right. It doesn't work, and it's Darebin who's able to clean it up. They get themselves out of a little bit of a sticky situation, not quite, because running onto it there was McDonald from North Melbourne, who has time to pick it up and send a nice hand pass across to her teammate Moore, who again goes towards the 50 line. Running onto a beautiful mark there is Alexia Hamilton. So despite not being able to win the foot race recently, she's got the mark here on the half-forward line for her side. She'll just take a little bit of time to pop the ball up. She's got a target in mind, but it goes over the top of Fitzgerald. She's still in and amongst it, Fitzgerald, but Darebin will just run it over here for a behind. So they'll take the lead 1-2-8. North Melbourne will take the lead 1-2-8 against Darebin 7.
So from the kick in, they didn't waste any time. Gunn went straight over the top, and they're out here, the Falcons. But North Melbourne have got numbers around the ball. Ball did bobble the way of the Falcons, and neither team able to really win clean possession at the moment, although the ball's going to go inside 50 for North Melbourne. Over the head there of Bright. She couldn't take it. Falcons come out, but it's going to go straight back in. Doing really well was Eastman, stepped around her opponent, kicked towards the top of the square. They've got numbers here. North Melbourne, quick snap towards goal by Hamilton. It's going to go across the face out to that left-hand side. Umpire rushing across and signalling one behind North Melbourne. Peppering away at the goals now. 1-3-9. The Darebin Falcons 1-1-7.
So it'll be Darebin now looking to get it out of their defensive half. 5 minutes left to go in the first term at Arden St for this round 6 clash. So they're gradually getting it out there. It's not clean, but they get it out to the centre of the ground, but it's North Melbourne who are able to mop up yet again, and running onto it there was Runnels. She can't take the mark, slips through her hand, so it's Darebin able to pick it up. It's just whether or not they can get it out of their defensive half-back line. Having a good go at it there was Schneider. She's able just to gain about 5 metres of ground, so North Melbourne able to clean up again, but yet again it ping-pongs back. This time it'll be Cullinan for Darebin. She sends it Samara David's way. She'll take the mark, and she might choose to take a little bit of time. No, she chooses to just go to the outer side of the ground. Running onto it there is Caddy. She's been prolific through the middle early on in this match, and she just puts the ball onto her right boot and picks out a North Melbourne defender. So it'll go straight back the other way.
So Runnels taking the intercept mark. Sorry, no, not Runnels. It's Kira Price. Apologies, Kira Price. She comes across goal. Geez, it's a risky kick. Lets the Falcons in. And taking the intercept mark was Schneider. Now she's a little bit too far out to score. It's a smart kick. And she hits up her teammate. And it will be Simpson. So the captain will go back from around about 40 metres out, pretty much directly in front. The umpire sets her on her line. Might pop this one up towards the top of the square. She ignores leads.
Pretty handy set shot, isn't it? A lot of experience. Former Bulldog player in the exhibition matches.
Simpson on the runway, big kick towards goal. It's not going to make the required distance. Eastman's around there for North Melbourne. They win possession at the fall of the ball, but the boundary line's going to beat the ball, and we'll have it tossed in round about 20 metres out from the Falcons' goal. They trail by 2 points. 1-3-9 plays the Falcons 1-1-7. 3 minutes 18 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
So they've had to scrap a little bit early in this match, Darebin, but still just 2 points trailing, and they've got the ball in their forward 50, looking to to lock it in there. Getting the tap out was magnificent, so the ball comes to ground. North Melbourne able to pick it up. Strong tackle, but it'll be high. So it'll be North Melbourne able to take the ball here, and they'll have a chance to reset and go forward, despite a fair bit of pressure being put on there from Darebin. So going out wide will be North Melbourne. Getting their hands on it will be Skinner. So Skinner will again give her side a little bit of time just to push back. No one in the forward 50 for North Melbourne, so a short chip kick will find the hands of Keeley. So the skipper will look to set her side going. 2.5 minutes left to score in the first term. North Melbourne leads by 2 points, so she just pops it up to a little bit of a pack. It's a 2-on-1 there against her side. So it's Darebin able to send a clearing kick here across to the top of their forward 50. Running it onto it there was Caddy again. She just goes for a run and she'll keep running. She pops it up, pops it across to Simpson. Beautiful little chip kick over the top of the defender, straight to Simpson's hand. So Simpson will have another shot at goal. She looks to get her second goal and Darebin's second goal of the term on the board.
Yeah, look, North absolutely had the numbers back there, but they're just not closing the gap with the Falcons have the space, and that's how they're able to get up.
So Simpson runs in to put her side back in the lead, and she pops it over the top. Caddy sticks her hands up in the air. Another 6 points to Darebin, 2-1-13. They're leading North Melbourne 1-3-9 with 2 minutes left in the first term.
Wasn't that just a bit of classy football from Caddy? Just to look inside and not blaze away. That's what you want to see.
Absolutely. And Simpson did really well. She didn't lead a lot. She only probably ran about 4 metres. Look, she knew she had the gap from her opponent. The other defender was hitting back to the goal square. So, you know, had Caddy blazed away, would have been easily picked up by North. But yep, she held steady and great composure.
So it's the Falcons on top early. Bit of a surprise here at Arden Street early. It's 2-1-13. North Melbourne 1-3-9. And from the restart, Kubash, she's been dominant in the ruck so far, won the tap out, but ball in dispute as we hit the deck, and a quick little handball out now. North Melbourne are going to go forward, up towards ball forward, ball out the back. Hamilton in hot pursuit, coming out to meet the ball, but North Melbourne was Taylor. Couldn't win clean possession of it. Falcons do really well defensively, and I think they're going to get a free kick here. High free kick has been paid. And will go the way of Callie Dupark. She comes out wide in, she's got options further afield, and it's a good kick. So, Callanan just calling her troopers to come across the ground, and she goes up the line towards half-back. It's all North Melbourne in the front of the contest, though. I think the umpire's going to call a high free kick to the Falcons again. So, 2 in a matter of 30 seconds going the way of the Falcons, and they can relieve some pressure from half-back here.
So it's Darebin half-back. We seem to pick up a little bit here at Arden Street. The ball will fall over the boundary line on the outer side of the ground. It'll be North Melbourne's free kick, so they haven't got quite enough time to score here, and the siren will go in just a moment as the kick leaves the boot. And it'll be Darebin 2-1-13, leading their opposition North Melbourne 1-3-9 at Arden Street. The goal kickers for Darebin, 2 goals there to Steph Simpson to put her side in the lead at the quarter-time break, and the 1 goal there coming from Fitzgerald for North Melbourne.
Just a quick little early update in the AFLW preliminary final. Melbourne leading at 1 behind 1 point. Adelaide yet. Coach Kiwi, what do we make of the first quarter? The Falcons were fantastic, I think.
You know, look, we talked about, you know, what they had to bring, and they had to bring their A game, and I think they have. They've really started to work out now that I think North aren't that accountable on defense, and they're starting to hit up the smaller leads and, you know, shorter kicks, and I'm guessing North will probably change that up now at quarter-time break without a doubt.
So it is North Melbourne leading it at quarter time. 1 I think as well, he also made mention of their ability to control possession against the Southern Saints, even though it wasn't heavy loss. I think they've shown that they're working the ankles around half-back too, so it'll be interesting to see how.
able to just get it out of their forward 50. They'll sit along the half-back line here. A little bit of congestion up the field. Going for a short chip kick here, and it's able to find Cullinan, who does well just to get it away there. She was in a little bit of under a bit of pressure there, and it's popped up to the top, and it goes off the back of the pack. Running onto it, though, will be North Melbourne, and it'll be in the arms of Neil, who gets a hand pass across to Eastman. And they'll look to go wide and centre it into the corridor. Little handball back there, again, goes to Price. She can't take control of it, but her teammates are able to help her out a little there and lend a hand. So we'll get into the arms of Fitzgerald, who nearly just shrugged off her opponent for a kick that went about 5 metres, but she didn't get caught. Darebin try and just handle it a little bit and dribble it to the bottom. And she does well for Darebin to bring the ball to ground, do it without causing a free kick, and we'll have a ball up along the half-back line for North Melbourne.
So, Falcons trail by a point, but they're inside their forward half and they have an opportunity to wrestle back this lead from the ruck. Lynch in there for the Falcons, but Keeley gets the clearing kick towards half forward. The Falcons get the numbers out in the back. Umpire's called the mark though, and this is going to be called back, unfortunately for the Falcons, because Samara David is in clean air on that outer side, but it'll be called back here to centre half back for the Falcons. And that'll probably allow North Melbourne to set up numbers behind the ball. So the free kick will go the way of McNeice at true centre half back here at Arden Street. So she surveys her options and she comes towards this broadcast side. Mifsud was her target. She couldn't take the mark. They do well here though. The Falcons tapping it in front of her was Huda. She couldn't take clean possession. Wrapped up immediately was Hicks. She lost the ball. Mifsud off the deck. Quick little kick towards Cowley Duparquet. She picks it up, gives a lovely little handball to Huda. She kicks it up towards full forward. Her target Simpson had it well fisted away from her, but she kept her feet. She paddled it in front of her legs. She's put under a huge amount of pressure. She's tackled as she kicks, just got a toe on it. Eastman coming back there for the ruse. Time and space, she uses it well. Keeley takes a relieving mark, and I think the umpire is going to say you juggled it over the line. She's tight call there, and we'll have it tossed in inside the forward pocket here for North Melbourne. They still trail, they lead it by a point, 2-4-16. The Falcons 2-3-15, 3.5 remain in this second quarter.
So we'll have a ball up deep in Darebin's attacking. They've got a chance here. Ball throws into ground, and running onto it there is Keeley, but she's just pulled straight to the ground. So moments later we'll have another throw up, still 40 metres out from Darebin's goals, just trailing by a point, so they've got a chance with 3 minutes left in the game to do something here. Ball falls to the ground. At the bottom of it there is Runnels for North Melbourne. She uses her pace to get the ball out, but she just gets a tiny kick away, and she's lucky not to be called for held there. Running onto it there is Fitzgerald. She's able to get a hand to it. Few handballs here that North Melbourne are trying to control. Instead they just go with the kick. Jumping up and taking the mark that North Melbourne needed was Keeley.
See, told you, she'll mark it in you. Back her in for a mark.
So Keeley opts for the short kick, and she's able to find her teammate in Hicks. So slowing it down a little bit, North Melbourne. Hicks will again opt for the same type of kick, and she finds her teammate in Runnels.
She's been everywhere, Runnels.
Runnels has been absolutely everywhere, you're right. I think we've called her name at least 12 or 13 times today. She goes and finds her teammate in Alexia Hamilton, who'll take the ball in the middle of the ground and goes for another kick, trying to just pop it towards that half-forward line. Running onto it there was Amalung for North Melbourne. She can't quite get there, but her teammate can in more. She's dispossessed of the ball, so it's Darebin who have a chance to just exit the 50 here and try and get it out. They scrap it along the ground a little bit, and they're able to get it out, but running onto it there is North Melbourne. For North Melbourne is Fitzgerald, so she just bangs it back the other way. But again, we'll go back the other way again, because it's Cullinan in defence who's able to just help Darebin get it out. Across to the outer side of the wing, they've got a little bit of safety here. Caddy's running onto it, it's out wide. She'll take it along the boundary line there, and she's got her teammate in David, but the kick is no good at all, and it's intercepted as easily as you'd like by Molly Eastman, Coach Kiwi.
Yeah, that's a coach killer, that is, isn't it? She had all the space in the world, they had the extra numbers, and just gave it up so easy.
So Runnels, she got her kick inside there towards Moore, and she comes with a dangerous kick inside to the centre of the ground by Hicks. She was wrapped up, dispossessed. They do well here though, North Melbourne. Jessie Morning, running machine. She got a little handball, quick little handball over the top, back inside the middle towards Slaney. It's back to Runnels again. She's been everywhere this quarter. Kick towards the top of the square. Out the back there was Hamilton. She picked it up, snapped it on her boot, goes across the face of goal. Falcons have got time and space here if the ball does stay in. It doesn't. The boundary line beats them, and we'll have it tossed in deep inside the forward 50. 50 here for North Melbourne. They still lead it by a point, just under a minute remaining here in this first half. North Melbourne 2-4-16, the Falcons 2-3-15. And from the restart, Hamilton in the ruck. Lynch is there as well. Hamilton got first use of it. Skinner may have dragged that one in. The umpire's hovering over this. Yep, you're gone. And it'll be a free kick going the way of the Falcons. It will be taken by Jenna Lawson-Tavern. She comes out wide here, and they look like they're just going to run down the clock here, the Falcons. In their defensive 50. Long up the line, come off the instep. Sitting under here was Hicks. Kubash was in there as well. She won possession but was dispossessed. Maybe a chance here for the Falcons. North Melbourne do well to win back possession. Quick little handball out by Fitzgerald, but no, the umpire called a throw, and the Falcons will get a free kick as the siren sounds here for the first half between North Melbourne and Darebin. It's a slight advantage to the home side. North Melbourne 2-4-16. Darebin 2-3-15. That was a highly entertaining half, Coach Kiwi. What have we made of it so far?
Yeah, look, only one goal scored, but it really felt like there was a few, and both teams had opportunity at each end of the field, and really only North capitalised on it at one point. We just look at the field there now. I think it's Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
down
she's come down.
Yeah.
It's a huge blow. Looks like she's getting up a little bit of a shoulder injury. Perhaps just touched the shoulder, but hopefully she's all right. She's been sensational for North Melbourne across this first half. Obviously kicking a goal, but also she's been forward 50.
Speaking of the goal kickers, actually, we'll quickly go through those. So Simpson has a brace for the Falcons. She's kicked 2, and for the Roos, it's 1 each to Alexia Hamilton and Fitzgerald as well. What have we made of the first half, Lauren? It's been hot. I know we haven't had too many goals, but it's been entertaining.
I think it's been certainly entertaining. Just a couple of goals in each of the quarters, but geez, perhaps this wasn't the game we were expecting. The pressure from Darebin has been sensational, and not just their pressure, but the way they've pushed forward and made as much as they can of their opportunities has been sensational to see. They've had some really good players. Obviously, Caddy along the wing has just been fantastic. A leading light. Obviously, she had the coach killer, like we mentioned, where she potentially cost Darebin a bit of a score. But, gee, she's taking the game on, and I think that's still something that at least you'd be happy to see.
And with that, just quick little AFLW update. Adelaide 1-1-7. Melbourne 3 behind, 3 points. Coach Kiwi.
Yeah, look, Darebin is certainly, if you look at the scoreboard, you're probably thinking they didn't do too much in that quarter, but in actual fact, they had about 3 or 4 shots that didn't even score.
Yep.
So, that's another coach killer, I guess, especially if you're the forward line coach. So they've got a bit of work to do in that regard. But, look, Caddy has been outstanding, and, a few times they've actually got the ball out in open space and could have made better use of it. And, for all her good work she did, that one time is probably what's going to stick into our mind a little bit more, is they were just open and away, and I think there was only one North player in the whole side of North Melbourne, and yep, Caddy found her. He could have caught a bus to her.
That kick just came off the side of the boot and went about 5 metres straight into the arms of North Melbourne.
So we'll take a half-time break here at Arden St. It's VFLW Round 6 action. It's the home side, North Melbourne, leading it 2-4-16 to the Darebin Falcons, 2-3-15. We'll be back right after this.
Draft Central is entering a new era, covering all the state leagues, from the VFLW, Sample W, Waffle W and Quaffle W, as well as their primary focus, the NAB League Girls. Draft Central has you covered when it comes to all you need to know about the future stars of the AFL Women's. Draft Central, brought to you by Rookie Me, is now on YouTube, so be sure to subscribe at Draft Central, as well as on our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages at Draft Central Oz.
Been playing for a while. Sweet kicks, 'cause footy makes you smile. Sweet kicks football. If you get all the trials, gotta go the extra mile. Sweet kicks football.
Not always hearing that sweet sound when you kick the ball? Need to develop your footwork or explosive speed? Want to take the next step in your footy career? Then you need Sweet Kicks. More info on our Facebook page or go to our website, sweetkicksfootballacademy.com.au.
Gotta go the extra mile. Sweet Kicks football. ball.
It's Anna Mears winning gold.
Hey, I'm Anna Mears. Winning gold at the Olympics was an incredible feeling, and having my biggest rival, who I'd just beaten, right up next to me and lift my hand in victory topped off an amazing moment. We'd had our fair share of clashes over the years, but in the end we both respected each other, and that's what really counts in sport. Be gracious in victory and in defeat. To keep your sport inclusive, safe and fair, go to playbytherules.net.au.
We are the Australian Literacy and Numeracy Foundation, striving to empower our most marginalised communities through literacy and education. Literacy is having a voice. Literacy is opportunity. Literacy is dreaming big. Literacy is freedom. Today, you can help end inequality and give every child access to our life-changing and proven literacy programs. Your support is vital. Donate now at alnf.org.
How often should you wash your hands?
Maybe around 9 times a day. 4?
Like 20?
Maybe twice a day.
Whenever they feel dirty. When should you wash your hands?
After you touch some raw meat. And before starting to eat. At the beginning, I wash my hands before preparing food.
How would you rate your knowledge of food safety?
Probably like an 8 out of 10. 6 or 7.
7.5? Learn more at foodsafety.asn.au/food safety training. Food safety, it's in your hands.
If you've had something stolen,
or if you've had property damaged, you need the police, not the sirens. If you've lost something or found something valuable,
or if you want to register a party or let us know you're going away on holiday, you need the police, not the sirens.
When you need the police, but not the sirens, you can now report these incidents online at police.vic.gov.au or call 131 444.
Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
There are plenty of classic hits radio stations, but this is where GoRadio.live is different. We unashamedly select the best music from our chosen era. We develop programs that provide the music with minimal interruption. For many hours of the day, you won't hear any announcers, just great music and the occasional station ID. We let the music play through until the end, no crossfades and no announcers talking over the start and end of tracks. We think you're going to love GoRadio.live, radio as it should be. Check it out at www.goradio.live or download the free app from Google Play or the App Store.
I was lucky that when I picked up the phone that day to call my best friend, that he answered.
Hi, Kirk Pengilly from In Excess here. And whether it's music, sweet things, puppies, movies, we all love our treats. But our eyes need treating too. 300,000 Australians, including me, are affected by glaucoma. Diagnosed early, glaucoma can be managed. Left undiagnosed, it can cause blindness. So treat yourself by treating your eyes to a simple test. Book your test at treatyoureyes.org.au today.
No business wants to throw money away. But did you know sending resources to landfill can be more expensive than recycling them? Planet Ark's free business recycling service can kickstart your workplace recycling journey, help you find the right recycling solutions and give you a competitive edge. Join the 1 million Australians using business recycling to keep valuable resources in circulation. Visit businessrecycling.com.au. It's just good business.
Hi, this is Missy Higgins for RAD, recording artists, actors and athletes against drink driving. I see a lot of things at gigs, mostly people having a good time and a few drinks. But what I'd hate to see is someone getting behind the wheel after they'd been drinking. Being even a little bit over the limit makes it too easy to lose control. So if you plan to drink, plan ahead. Arrange a designated driver who won't drink. Remember, music lives and you should too.
Winter has really set in. Time for hot drinks, warm soups, a relaxing bath and cranking up the heater.
Did you know that all these things present a burn hazard for children? In fact, 79% of burns happen in the home. Visit kidsafe.com.au to download the free burn safety checklist and get some essential tips for keeping kids safe in your home. And remember, when a burn occurs, apply cool running water for at least 20 minutes. No oil, butter, ointments or ice. Always seek medical advice if the burn is larger than 3 centimetres.
It's women's Aussie rules, they're doing what they love. They're fast, they're tough, don't mess with them, cause they can get rough. Are you ready for the challenge? Are you ready for the match? It's the call of the game. It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day. It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day.
That it is indeed. Welcome back to Arden Street here. It's North Melbourne leading it by a point at the half-time break. 2-4-16, the Darebin Falcons. 2-3-15. I'm your play-by-play caller and host Paul Sebastiani, joined by Lauren Borden and Coach Kiwi. I think we're set for a cracking second half. I know it's low scoring, but this has been a high-pressure, high-entertaining game.
Oh, absolutely. Don't look at the scoreboard, folks. Look at those tackles. It's been a ripper game, and I reckon both teams are probably going with a bit of confidence, without a doubt, and certainly the coaches will probably give them a few stern words about how to come out and try and get the better of the other side.
I think it's fascinating and fantastic to see that each team has been just attacking the ball with that belief that they can get it. I think we saw a few tough knocks early in that second term, but it was great to see because they were both genuine going for the ball types of hits that players didn't mean it, but they were just hard at it, and they are absolutely attacking the ball with ferocity, which is perhaps why we're not seeing a high-scoring game, but gee, it's looking good on the field with that intensity.
Indeed it is, yeah. And quick little score update again. Adelaide have skipped away to a 10-point lead, 2-1-13 in the AFLW preliminary final over there at Adelaide Oval, and Melbourne are 3 behind, 3 points. And you wouldn't guess it, Erin Phillips has got both goals for Adelaide, so she continues on her merry way.
Has she got any quad awareness today? She's just asking for a friend. Then you know she's going to kick a bag.
So North Melbourne make their way back out onto the field. Just a little over 3 minutes remaining until we get this second half underway. Are we changing any of our predictions, or still sticking with North, ladies?
I'm still going to stick with North. I think they'll run away a little bit. There were times when they do go a little bit slower and they just go for the short kicks. I think that's helped them a lot. There are a few times when they tried to rush, and I just don't think it works for them. So they've got to use that to their advantage. A little bit of, experience maybe over that Darebin to just slow it down and use that to get ahead.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see it open up a little bit through the midfield, and there's a lot of space being created, and players are starting to get their eyes out and about, swiveling their heads. So perhaps it'll come down to if Shane has picked that up, or has Mitch picked it up, and which direction each coach has given their team, whether that's the way to get out and around. And that's kind of what North started to do, was sort of really push it to the wing side and go around the centre square. Have to say, there's been a few slips in that centre square, as if it's a cricket pitch. Like, it is not a cricket pitch, people. This is purely a football oval on the North Melbourne side of town, but there's some slipping going on.
There is definitely at the moment, as the Falcons make their way onto the ground here. And speaking of some individuals, that Ellie Runnels she's been just racking up the possessions here. But I just think too, I don't know if you've noticed, but I think North Melbourne just overusing the ball a little bit. I'm not sure what you two have made of it, but I think the coach would be telling them to go a little bit more direct with their ball use. Whether or not that's a byproduct of the Falcons putting a heap of pressure on making them overuse it, but I think they just need a little bit more poise across half back.
Yeah, I think particularly like you mentioned at half back and at defence, that's where they're just overusing the ball, and it's when they get that someone just takes the initiative to take a clearing kick is when it really helps them go. But yeah, they've lost the ball a couple of times along that half-back line, just going for the short option when they should look a little bit further downfield.
And you look individually for the Falcons as well. Samara David and Simpson look really lively up forward. They look the two dangerous ones. I think has it sort of been an almost game for Samara David. She's been there. She just hasn't had the kicks go her way, and she's got a few things that sort of the ball hasn't bounced her way. But she looks really dangerous up front for the Falcons.
Yeah, she's been sensational. I think a few of their key players have been quite good. David's obviously been key across the ground a little bit, but Simpson's been a part of everything that's happened in that forward line. She's got her hands and obviously she's kicked 2 goals, but I feel like she's been getting quite a few touches on and making her mark in that forward line.
And I think the ruck contest has been intriguing as well. Yeah, Kubash for the Falcons as well. She's been going up against Hamilton and Sarek. Almost, I think it's a lone hand in the ruck for Kubash. I think Lynch has also gone in there for the Falcons, but it's been a really good battle between the rucks.
Kubash is a sensational player, and yeah, she's been strong in the ruck and across the ground. She kind of pops up along the way. So what a great job to do with no backup like North Melbourne have got. They've got a couple of options, whereas it all falls to her.
Question: is she an American girl, Kubash, or is that something? Peter, no, she's not. I thought she may have been. I might be thinking of something. My mind's veering off towards Caulfield and Randwick. I think.
American horses.
Yeah.
Or I think you want to be from America if your name's Sydney, don't you?
Yeah. So both teams getting into position. So around about 20 seconds away from second half action here at Arden St. It's North Melbourne leading it into this second half by a point, 2-4-16 to 2-3-15 as both teams head towards their respective ends. It'll be the Falcons going towards the Fogarty Street end of the ground, and it will be North Melbourne going towards the city end, towards the swimming pool end of the ground. And without further ado, Lauren Borden will bring us the second half action.
So third term about to get underway here at Arden St. We're looking to see if Darebin can get their first win on the board for this year. We're in round 6 of VFLW. Listen to us on Wharf Radio and on the VFL live stream. So the umpire will throw the ball up and it'll go to ground. No team able to gain that possession, although barging in through there was Cox. She gets her hands on the ball, but she's wrapped up by a host of players. So again, we'll just have another restart 10 seconds after the first one for the third term. So the ball goes up again and it's tapped up high and it goes into the arms of Buckley. For Darebin, the ball again falls down. It's a little bit in dispute, a little bit of a scrappy start to this third term. North Melbourne able to get the kick away and it goes into the hands of Morney. She doesn't get paid the mark, it falls to ground. So again, Darebin have a chance here, just bashed onto the boot by Kubash, who sends it forward, but it'll ping pong around here and it could go back the other way, but falls in dispute a little bit again. Not too much happening, no side able to gain much advantage, but they might be able to do it here, Darebin, through the hands of Caddy. She's been prolific early. She might be able to make something of this. She goes for the kick as per normal and she kicks it straight into the arms of her opposition in Neil, who can't hold on to it though, and it goes to ground. So again, Darebin have a chance here to try and do something with it. The ball in the centre square gets taken to the ground. The umpire calls play on, even though all players stop. And instead the kick just goes wide from North Melbourne, but running onto it, they'll be able to use possession here, and it's Morney, who she's tackled but gets the kick away and it'll go straight to the hands of her opposition. Again, tackled and brought into ground. The umpire lets the play go on, even though there's no movement, but he's decided now's the time to stop it, and we'll have a throw up, centre of the ground, broadcast side, 1.5 minutes into this third term.
So Kubash from the ruck, ball fell into the lap there of Cox. She was wrapped up, got a little handball away. That might be dropping the ball against Hicks. Umpire said play on. Kubash hovering over the ball. She thumps the ball out, gets it towards her target. That was Byrne. They do well here to try and wrestle the ball back here, the Russo, but a quick little kick forward by Callan, and it's a scrubby one up towards Samara David. She gets her little handball out towards Buckley, and she kicks it up towards full forward. Simpson couldn't take it on the second bite. Price with a little tap out. And around the football there was Lynch. Quick little kick away there by David. It ends up in the lap there of Callan, and a snap towards goal. And who else but Caddy? She's been prolific for the Falcons, and she bobs up here at point blank range, and she's going to put the Falcons in front. So Caddy, she deserves this goal if she kicks it. She's been fantastic all day. She trots in point blank range, no problems. So at least Caddy gets her first of the day, and the Falcons take the lead. 3-3-21. North Melbourne 2-4-16. Early goal for the Falcons here in this second half. Coach Kiwi, really good ball movement going inside 50 there by the Falcons, able to lock it in and get a mark right close to goal.
Absolutely. They're a man down or a woman down also, because they had a player who's hobbling off to the bench here.
Just having a look. I think it's Duparquet. Yeah, she's having a boot taken off left ankle by the looks of it, I think.
I think it's Cowley Duparquet.
We like CDP because Harley Duparquet.
Okay, CDP, I'm cool with that.
She was replaced by Camilleri, who's come onto the ground for Darebin. And we don't know if CDP will take any further part in this game. She's got the shoes off and a little bit of work on her ankle at the moment. But it'll be North Melbourne here, 4.5 minutes into the third term, that are able to go forward into the hands of Skinner. She takes a strong contested mark there. Just outmuscles her opponent in Byrne to take that one. She'll look to go into the 50 here, and she spots her teammate and goes for her, but it's spoiled. It just can't quite reach the arms of Alexia Hamilton, so good work there from Darebin to bring the ball to ground. And fantastic to force a throw up here. Really great work there from Callanan, who put plenty of pressure on her opponent. So we'll have a throw up here. North Melbourne's attacking 50. Going up for the rock contest there was Alexia Hamilton, but of course it's Cubash for Darebin, and it's North Melbourne who gain a little bit of control here, and just a high ball up to the top to see who can mark it. Not able to get her hands on it yet again was Alexia Hamilton, so it's Darebin that just sent a little bit of a clearing kick long, and running onto it there with the long sleeves is Caddy. She spots a few teammates, but the ball instead bounces North Melbourne's way. Running onto it is right, and she gets crunched to the ground. Her Darebin opponent in McNeese just said, "You're not going any further than that." So the umpire will have a throw up in exactly the same position that we saw the same throw up just moments earlier, 35 metres out from North Melbourne's goal. They're kicking towards the swimming pool end of Arden St. They're able to get a little bit of control, but again wrapped up here. Ball's not moving anywhere. The umpire will come in, sweep in, and it'll be yet another stoppage and yet another throw up, just a metre across from where the last one was previously. So up we go again. Ball just falls to ground in the tap, off one bounce, one hand, one bounce from Cubash. Gets to the half-back line for Darebin. They're trying to work hard to get it out. But the umpire will call a free kick high, and it'll go North Melbourne's way. So they'll have a chance here. A little bit kick there. Again goes towards Alexia Hamilton. This time she holds on to it. Her opponent just goes to ground. But Alexia Hamilton, she'll have another chance here. 30 metres out from goal. She's got a real chance here to kick North Melbourne's third goal of the day and put her side ahead by 1 point. 5.5 minutes into the third term here. She's already got a goal today. She kicked one in the second term, so going for her second today. Alexia Hamilton, girl from Queensland, takes her run up, puts it on the right boot, goes about 15 metres and just pops to the top of the goal square there. So not quite what she's looking for. It's bobbling along the ground. Cubash just sends a clearing kick out straight through the corridor, and her teammate's able to run onto it and caddy, but she gets taken to ground. Desperate attempts here from Darebin to get the ball out. North Melbourne's got a chance here through Sarek to get a little bit of a go on here, but instead it'll be Darebin again, who kicking away there from Simpson. She's pushed back to help her side in the defensive back line, but it'll string back again, and this time North Melbourne will do what they did well early in the first half and take it slowly here. So in the centre of the ground, the ball will be taken by Morney, and she'll look to push her side forward.
So Morney, they've shown a little bit more poise going forward of centre here, North Melbourne. Kubash sitting under this, should take a no, had it fisted away from her. Now the Falcons can go on the rebound, although good tackle. North Melbourne do well to stop that 4-0 forward from the Falcons, and they lock it up, and we'll have a ball up here. Just the attacking side of the centre square for North Melbourne. They trail by 5 points to home side, 2-4-16. The Falcons 3-3-21. Sarek and Kubash do battle in the ruck again. Quick little flick out handball by Callanan. And the kick forward up towards half forward. Mifsud with a good punch away. Falcons have got the numbers at the contest. She went back in again, Mifsud. And plenty of players sitting over the top of this one. Trying to get a little kick forward was Camilleri. Neither team able to win clean possession. Morney's in there again. And it's all wrapped up. All tight. We'll have a ball up here at centre half forward for the Falcons. So from the restart, Sarek and Kubash up again in the ruck. Little flicked out handball by Byrne. North Melbourne, that was McDonald. She was wrapped up as soon as she got the football. Sarek got a little handball out, though the Falcons are going to win out there here. Handball back towards Smiljanic. She gets a little kick along the ground. Her target was Camilleri. She picked it up. Kick inside forward. 50 by David, but coming across and taking a really good defensive mark was Molly Esmond, the former Falcon. She's got options out towards this broadcast side. The kick just hung up a little bit too long. Allowed the Falcons in. Morney couldn't take the mark. Kick off the ground by Cullen, and she did really well to spoil her opponent. Mifsud picks it up. Quick little kick away. She was tackled immediately though. Simpson went in there, threw her body on the line. We'll wrap it up though, 20 metres out from the Falcons goal. Really good defensive intent there by the Falcons, Coach Kiwi.
Yeah, it really was. Molly may not be too impressed with that, or too pleased with that kick, and certainly the coaches won't be.
So Caddy just puts it out of the boot, takes it out of the play. She can't quite get it towards goal, can't get a second of the day, but gee, she's kept it in there for Darebin. And the umpire will call holding, and it'll pay a free kick, and it'll be going the way of Darebin Falcons. And it'll be going the way of Samara David. Oh no, it'll be going the way of Camilleri, so she'll have a chance here to kick a goal. She's been playing in the side since round 3, played every game since round 3 after coming into the team. So on an angle, kicking towards the freeway end, kicking from 15 metres out. She puts it on the right boot, it's low, and it swings across to the left. So it'll be another behind for Darebin, 3-4-22. They're leading North Melbourne 2-4-16. 11 minutes left in this third term.
So from the resulting kick in, it will be taken by Molly Eastman, and she goes short to the pocket. It's a good kick, it's okay, it comes to Price. And she doesn't waste any time. Skinner was her target, was a helicopter kick. Keeley went in there, couldn't take clean possession of the ball. Quick kick across there from Hooter. Lands in the lap now of Byrne. So she plays on immediately and she thumps it towards the top of the square. Miffs at her target, couldn't take it. Runnels is there for North Melbourne as well. So's Molly Eastman. Ball bounces towards her. She's wrapped up well by David. Runnels went back in there to fetch it. Tapped it out the back. David did really well. Just paddled it in front of her. She tries to feign the handball. Goes one way or the other. Gives the handball across and the goal is kicked. And the Falcons get one they deserve. Oh no, the umpire's called touch. Oh, we got all excited for nothing. Goodness gracious me.
Must have been a very faint touch on the line.
Can we video review that? I don't think so, no. So the Falcons, 3-4-22 North Melbourne, 3-5-23 North Melbourne, 2-4-16.
So North Melbourne, geez, they've been under a whole lot of pressure for this last 10 minutes and for the entirety of the game from the winless Darebin, who now lead by more than a goal and have a chance here to get their first win of the season. It'll just be pushed out a little bit about half forward, so the umpire will throw it in. 9.5 minutes left in this third term at Arden Street. So it'll be thrown up, both sides go at it. Ball just by Kubash, and she just pushes it to the bottom of the ground, but it's North Melbourne who are able to pick it up, and Runnels just puts it on the boot and sends it to the outer side of the ground. She's got a teammate running onto it. Great kick there, and it'll be Wright who's able to run onto it, gets a handball across, but puts her side under a fair bit of pressure, and Darebin should be able to just lock it in here, centre of the ground. In amongst that was Smiljanic for Darebin, who does a great job in just locking that in and ensuring Darebin will have a chance here to push back the other way. So the ball goes up, both sides at it. It's Darebin who are able to get the clean kick and push it forward and gain a little bit of territory there. So they've got a chance here to go forward. Bit of the 1-2 there back to Miffson. She sends a very high ball in there. Bit of a foot race now going on. There's 2 North Melbourne players going at it. It's the Kangaroos that win out here. An option there in McDonald, but they choose not to go that and go the long option instead. So a few players running onto it. It'll be in dispute here a little bit. Trying her hardest to get her hands on it and to control it for Darebin was Hooter, and she does. Across the ground, she gets a handball out there. No side able to gain too much control until North Melbourne get a little short chip kick away. They're coming to the broadcast side of the ground. Caddy's in amongst it. So is Skinner. The ball's still rolling along the ground, a little bit slippery. Both players going hard at it until the ball again. Another forward 50 entry there up the hands of Rybelt and goes into Darebin's forward 50. It's just floating along the arc along there until a high kick comes from Rybelt again. She just pops it up. Oh. It rolls, it rolls. Has she kicked the kick? Yes! It's rolled through, and there's a goal. Not even aiming for the goal there, Rybelt, I believe. She wasn't aiming for the goal, but it's just bounced along, found the space, and Darebin are able to put on their 4th goal.
I reckon Simpson might have got a toe on that right on the line. I'm going to give it to Simpson.
So 3 goals for Simpson then.
She's a smart girl, she'll know when to get it. Still one on the line.
Haven't the Falcons just come out this second half of blazing, Coach Keeler?
Yeah, they have, and I think we spoke about that at half time, is that they would have a bit of confidence after the performance they put up. And Kubash in the midfield, in the middle here, she's winning almost probably every hit out. I think it's 3-1 every, in the stats at the moment. She's just got to hit her opponents better. Her teammates up a little bit better, so she's getting that head out down. They just got to push their opponent in under, perhaps use the outer circle.
So from the restart, we're probably going to have a secondary ball up here. We will indeed. It is Darebin leading it by 13 points. 6 minutes 40 remaining this third quarter. Kubash to do battle in the ruck again with Woods. It is Kubash who thumps that ball forward, though coming out to meet it was Keeley, and she's going to be paid a free kick, the North Melbourne captain. Can she spark her side into some goal-kicking form here? Runnels. She's had plenty of it today. She gets a little chipping kick over the top towards Moore, bounced in front of her though, and she kicks it off the ground, and it's going to go towards the boundary line, and it will be a free kick towards the Falcons. So last touch out of bounds, and the free kick will be taken by Buckley. So she's at half-back here. Her side leader by 13 points. So she thumps this towards centre wing, and sitting under it and taking a good mark was Byrne, almost on a post. She goes quickly, tumbling kick up towards half forward. Mifsud leads the race for the football, bounced in front of her. She wasn't able to gather on the first bounce. Her handball was astray. Went across the side of Schneider. She's put under a huge amount of pressure there by McDonald. North Melbourne get numbers around the contest. Neither team able to win clean possession. Boundary line might win out here, and it does. And we'll have it tossed in just the attacking side of the wing here for the Falcons, who lead it by 13 points. 4-5-29 plays, 2-4-16. 5.5 minutes remain in the third quarter.
So Darebin, biggest lead of the match so far. 13 points the margin. Ball goes back in. They'll look to add to it here with the ball just slightly in their forward half. It'll be taken. There's two players going at it on the ground. The ball's thrown out. The umpire lets it go, and it comes out. It'll be North Melbourne with a quick handball. Beautiful possession there from Hicks, who helps her side go forward. Running onto it will be Wright, and she takes it right by the boundary line, able to control it, swings around and puts it onto the right boot. It bounces over the top of her opponent. It'll go. She was aiming there for Skinner. The ball goes across the ground. They're calling for deliberate, and they will get the deliberate call, North Melbourne. So it'll be Skinner. She'll take the ball. She's on a bit of a tight angle, 30 metres out from goal. The umpire just makes sure to line her up and that she's on the right line, Skinner. So she looks like she'll be looking to take the goal there. Prolific ball getter. Hasn't got a goal yet today. She just pops it up to the top of the square, but it goes over the top of her teammates. Running onto it will be Wright. She picks it up. She's under a lot of pressure, so it's just a high ball for whoever can get it. Her teammate Amelung's able to get just a touch, but it's Darebin who gain a little bit of territory. Although again, it's North Melbourne who clean up here. They go forward. They've got a chance, but not quite. It's Darebin able to stand in their way, holding up the ball there was Gunn. Back to North Melbourne again. It goes a little bit on the boot. They're looking for Skinner, was Amelung, but it'll be Darebin able to just try and push this out via a string of kicks. Running onto it and having a chance here will be Schneider. She can't gain control, so North Melbourne really mopping up the ball well here, and it's Morning who's able to do it. She finds a teammate free, but just sweeping across there was Carney. Well done by the Darebin back, who's able to cut that ball off. And it's Darebin who are holding possession at the moment along their half-back line. They'll go wide and onto the outer side of the ground. Diving for the ball was Simpson. She takes a fantastic mark just to juggle that. She'll take her time here because she knows that all her players are on the opposite side of the ground. So she just opts for the short kick, and onto the outer side of the ground she'll find David. So David again does the same thing, follows her captain's lead and just takes her time. The only person in the forward 50 is Mifsud at the moment for Darebin. So David picks out Caddy. Caddy takes the mark. Well done there by Caddy. All still on the outer side of the ground here at Arden St as they go towards the freeway end of the ground. And Caddy picks out Mifsud spectacularly, who's able to take the ball. She just goes for the long kick. She can spot her teammate Callanan, but it doesn't quite make it to her. So it's North Melbourne who mop up. They've got all the numbers here, but the ball's brought to ground. And it's Eastman who's had to work really hard there for the North Melbourne backs just to get the ball out. But she's kicked it out of bounds on the full on the half-back line there for North Melbourne. So it'll go straight back into the arms of their opposition. So it'll be Darebin able to press forward yet again. Mifsud again picks up that ball. Really nice control. She chooses the hand pass, but her teammate is just dispossessed of the ball. So this time it'll be North Melbourne who will again have the chance.
And a 50.
And a 50, so the player pushed off the ball. It'll be a 50-metre penalty here for North Melbourne. And geez, we've been talking about coach killers a few today. What do you think, Coach Kiwi?
Yeah, that's just disgraceful, frankly. I've got nothing. Really, Darebin had all that forward pressure, and Misfit should have She had 4 short options around her, blazed away, and now, probably her own frustration, giving away the 50.
So Callanan, she's picked out Samara David here, who's got a ton of space to work into. The ball bounced her way, the little handball over the top, and now they might be okay here, the Falcons. Kick up towards Mifsud, coming across to meet it though was Eastman. She gets a little handball back towards Price. She's got time and space, but the umpire I think is going to call free kick, I believe. It's going to be last touch, and it will go the way of the Falcons. So Mifsud, can she
make up for it?
Exactly right. Took the words out of my mouth, Coach. Falcons 4-5-29, lead at 2-4-16 North Melbourne. Kicked not the greatest, but it falls their way and they go inside forward 50. Caddy back with the flight, taking a strong mark. No, the umpire said play on. Did he, or did he call the mark? No, called a mark. It'll go the way of Caddy. Definitely too far out to score. She's 45 metres out. Samara David, she's an option inside forward 50. She's trotting towards a goal square, but Caddy's going to go back.
Interesting, there's not really any Darebin players actually leading for it.
So Caddy with a long kick towards the top of the square. It's going to stay out there on the right hand side and off hands, and we'll have it tossed in right up towards this behind post as we tick down to just under 20 seconds to go. So Darebin, the only team with a chance of scoring here. It's Mifsud and Sarek in the ruck. Sarek gets front spot. Mifsud with the body use. She wins possession of the ball. She's wrapped up as soon as she won it. And that will probably bring an end to the third quarter, and it does indeed. So the Falcons take a 13-point lead into this last quarter. 4-5-29, North Melbourne 2-4-16. The goal kickers for the Falcons, we think Simpson has 3. She may have kicked that one right on the line there. And then we've also got Caddy. She deserved her goal as well. She's the sole other goal kicker for the Falcons. And for the Roos, Alexia Hamilton and Fitzgerald are their 2 goal kickers. What have we made of that third quarter? It was probably domination in favour of the Falcons, Coach Kiwi.
Yeah, certainly it was. And they played some really clean footy, and they did their short kicks around the outside, took it down the far wing from where the boundary of the broadcast box is, and really looked like a quality side. Just some brain phase inside that forward 50, and probably where you put it down to Misfit. I don't know what she was really thinking. She had short options near her. 4 of them were open, free, and she kicked it into the middle of 4-5 North players, and in the bounce to the one Darebin you're running through. So puts a lot of pressure on the other forwards, and just not enough scoreboard pressure by giving away the ball so easily. And then she gave away that 50 that, they were at the end of the field. They could have put some scoreboard pressure on, and then instantly the ball was taken down the other end and North was taken inside 50. So certainly she owes the team a little bit, I think, but Darebin certainly, I think, had the upper hand in this, and probably should have got a couple more goals.
And not to pour cold water on that, I did notice that Lauren Camilleri also came off the ground as well with what looked to be a sore quad, so they may be 2 down on the bench heading into this last quarter. Whether or not that has a big enough of an effect on the game to bridge a 13-point margin, I'm not too sure, but Falcons are in prime position here at the moment. And just a quick little score update before we get to this 3-quarter time break. The preliminary final, Adelaide are running away with this one, 4-26. Melbourne 3 behinds with 3 points. They're yet to kick a goal in that game, and it looks like Adelaide are on their way to another AFLW Grand Final. We'll be back with final quarter action here, round 6 between North Melbourne and Darebin. It's Darebin leading it by 13 points at 3-quarter time.
The average person spends 44 minutes a day thinking about food. At Oz Harvest, thinking about food is a full-time job because we're always looking for new ways to nourish our country and combat food waste and hunger. Every day, we rescue quality surplus food across Australia and deliver it to those who'd otherwise go hungry. And you can help. Every dollar donated to Oz Harvest can provide 2 meals to people in need. Visit ozharvest.org. Thought for food.
There are plenty of classic hits radio stations, but this is where GoRadio.live is different. We unashamedly select the best music from our chosen era. We develop programs that provide the music with minimal interruption. For many hours of the day, you won't hear any announcers, just great music and the occasional station ID. We let the music play through until the end, no crossfades, and no announcers talking over the start and end of tracks. We think you're going to love GoRadio.live, radio as it should be. Check it out at www.goradio.live or download the free app from Google Play or the App Store.
They're my grandkids. Gee, they can make some noise. But you know what? It's a beautiful sound because they're alive and having fun. The sound I hate is silence in the pool. When a child drowns, you hear nothing. No splashing, no cries for help. Be vigilant around water. Fence the pool, shut the gate. I teach your kids to swim, it's great. Supervise, watch your mate, and learn how to resuscitate. I'm Laurie Lawrence. Kids Alive, do the 5.
Draft Central is entering a new era, covering all the state leagues, from the VFLW, Sample W, Waffle W and Quaffle W, as well as their primary focus, the NAB League girls. Draft Central has you covered when it comes to all you need to know about the future stars of the AFL Women's. Draft Central, brought to you by Rookie Me, is now on YouTube, so be sure to subscribe at Draft Central, as well as on our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages at Draft Central Oz.
It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day.
Back here on the Women's Australian Rules football broadcast of this Round 6 clash between North Melbourne and the Darebin Falcons. Surprisingly enough, it is the Falcons leading at 4-5-29 to 2-4-16 at three-quarter time. And, well, they are in the prime position to get their first win of the year, ladies. And it looks like it may be that way if North Melbourne continue to front up with what they have at the moment. The Falcons have been all over them.
And in good news for Darebin, Camilleri has been able to make her way onto the field, so hopefully just a little bit of a niggling injury, and she's jumping about in the middle. She's doing a few stretches, so looks like she should be right and raring to go in the middle there for Darebin as they look to get their first win on the board for 2021.
Coach Kiwi, what do you say to these North Melbourne players at three-quarter time? Is it a rev up? Is it a cool, calm, collected voice? What is it?
Probably a bit more of a stern voice. I'd be giving North and just say, you know, we're the better team. We've played some good football. We've just let them get open and get them, expose them on the outside a little bit. So tighten up. Whereas the other end, I don't know, I kind of looked at the Darebin huddle and thought they're a little quiet, a little bit calm. I'd be firing up. For them, you know, they hardly have been in front all season, and here they are, 2 goals. So fire them up, I would.
So we'll see which approach is best, but it's North Melbourne at the start here who look fit and firing and ready to go. Very quick inside 50 there through there, thanks to Keeley, who was able to just bomb it forward from the first touch. And it's one of the first times today where we've seen a clearance from that opening bounce. And it's North Melbourne who will get the high free kick here. So Wright will take the ball, she's about 35 metres out, directly in front as North Melbourne kicks towards the freeway end of the ground. A little bit of wind swirling around, but Wright, she's got a goal for the season and looks like she's lining up here to go for her second. So she'll take her lead in here to put her team 7 points behind, but ball falls short by quite a long way, and it's cleaned up there by Cullinan. And Darebin quickly just get the ball out of their danger zone as quick as they can, out along that outer side of the ground and along the wing. A little bit of falling there from Darebin, who aren't able to gain as clean possession as they would have liked. Caddy gets dispossessed of the ball, but still it stays in the hands of Darebin players who just slowly move it towards Mifsud. Appeals for the free kick. The umpire says not quite, play on, and it stays in the arms of her teammates. Caddy's got it at the bottom of the pack there. Rivalt's in amongst it. The ball's just in dispute a little bit here. Caddy out the back there, jumps onto the ball. A little bit of a push away and she'll get it towards her teammate. The umpire will call holding. So it'll be a free kick Darebin's way in the centre of the ground, outer side of the ground. Darebin will have a chance here to go into their 50, and that they do. They've got it along the half forward line. Nice little mark there taken. So Darebin taking a bit of a slow and steady approach here. They've got some options.
50. Oh.
So a 50 here gives Darebin a very nice chance. They're 13 points ahead already. A goal here put the game make it very difficult for North Melbourne to try and get the 4 points here today.
Was that a step over the mark? I think it might have been, yeah.
And no need for it. Like, you know, she was a mile out. And potentially the ball wasn't going to hit its target.
So directly in front, the ball goes up, the arms go up, the team goes up, and it's a goal there from Byrne. She's embraced by her teammates. Everyone shouts and roars here at Arden Street. Darebin 5-5-35, leading North Melbourne at 2-4-16. 17 and a half minutes left in this quarter here in the last quarter at Arden Street, but geez, Coach Kiwi, it's going to be difficult to come back from here for the home side.
Yeah, look, 3 goals down. They've got the ability throughout the team, and when they want to play their quick, clean footy, and they transition very well. So there's a chance if they just don't let the brain fade a little bit more, North can still get some positions here. But yeah, good to see Rally there. She's pretty excited. She doesn't kick many goals, but she's absolute little nugget of a worker.
So back underway in the middle, Kubash. She's been dominant in the ruck, and she wins the tap, but the ball falls away of North Melbourne. Cox trying to barge her way through, got a little handball out towards Horney, who couldn't win possession, and the Falcons are going to go towards forward 50 again. David dropped what she may have should have taken. Little quick recovery, and the kick towards forward 50 is okay, and coming out to take a nice mark was Schneider. So her kick inside is fantastic, and going back to take the mark. So it'll be Simpson. Had a fantastic game today, the captain. 3 goals already. Maybe just got the wind behind her here, 40 metres out, and take her absolute best. Kubash there on the goal line with Mifsud, so the tall timber's down there. She skews this one off the right side of her boot, falls into the lap of North, and now they can quickly go. That's what they need to do. Quick kick towards Fitzgerald. She takes the mark. Can't wait around. She goes towards Runnels. So Runnels gives a little handball inside. It's okay. Hicks with a kick. Geez, it went right off the side of her boot as well. Fell into the lap there of the Falcons player, but coming out to take a great mark was Fitzgerald, and North Melbourne can go again here from half back. They need to. They trail by 19 points, 2-4-16 to 5-5-35. So Fitzgerald with a thumping kick towards the wing. Kubash stood under it and took a really good mark. She's been the dominant figure in the ruck today. One of the better players on the ground, and she just slows things down, and we quickly go across the ground. Port Melbourne 4-4-28 lead the Bulldogs 1-1-7, and it's all level between Casey and Geelong, 1-1-7 each of 2.
So back to this game here where Darebin are looking strong, whatever Mitch Scully said. At 3-quarter time it may have been calm and collected, but geez, it seems to have worked as they go and try and get forward. They're all wrapped up a little bit here at North Melbourne, desperately trying to make something of this game. Their home turf at Arden Street at the bottom of the pack there though. For Darebin was Rybelt, so the umpire will throw it up, broadcast side of the ground, 60 metres out from Darebin's goals. The tap goes towards North Melbourne, running onto it was Keeley. She can't gain clean possession of it. She's absolutely wrapped up when she can. Taken to ground with desperate intent from Darebin, so we'll have a ball up in the centre square. Sensational work from Darebin here. There's still 14 and a half minutes left in this game, but geez, they look like they might get the 4 points today for the first time this year. Hard at it there for the Falcons was Buckley. She pulls her opponent to the ground. At the bottom of the pack is Cox. So yet another throw up. As the ball goes up, Kubash tries to get a hand to it. She can't quite manage it. It'll be her opponent who can get it in Sarek, who handles the ball well and gets it across to a teammate. The ball goes forward, and taken high there was Amalung. So Amalung for North Melbourne. Centre square, she takes it through half forward. Puts it on the left boot, but she just picks out her opponent. Picks out Darebin. And again, they've got a chance here now just to clean up that ball from North Melbourne's attack and go forward. But up at the top there was Sarek for North Melbourne. She brings the ball to the ground. Running onto it is Fitzgerald, who's been very busy for the Kangaroos across the day, but particularly in these last few minutes, she just scoops it up and gets the ball out. Avalon gets it, Runnels gets a little bit of a touch on that, and it'll go into the hands of Skinner. Skinner puts it on the boot. She finds her teammate, is able to hold on to it. Great mark there, taken by Moore. Moore opts to go for a short option as well. She finds the safe hands of her teammate. So it'll be North Melbourne here. Who?
Guess who?
Runnels. Runnels deserves the goal today after all her hard work. She's been running everywhere. Deft touch, nice little handballs. Shown some really pristine skills. So Runnels will have a chance here to kick a goal. Not sure if she's a proven goal kicker or not. Hasn't kicked one this year yet. But she'll back herself in here. 30 metres out, she'll keep nearly dead in front. Puts it on the right boot, it goes high. It looks a bit to the right.
Oh, it's it's just grazed the post.
Oh, right, jeez, that was close. That was very close for North Melbourne, Coach Kiwi.
It was. I even think the players even kind of stopped. They thought it was in.
So they waste no time from the kick in, the Falcons, towards this outer side. Flicking it out the back there was David. She's got time to handball inside, although spilling the ball was Frymel. She couldn't take clean possession of the ball, and North Melbourne are going to look to go back inside forward 50. Thump big ball towards the top of the square. Moore was there, couldn't take the mark. Ruddles, quick snap towards goal. It's bouncing, it's hit the post again.
She's on a hat-trick.
Really unlucky couple of seconds from Runnels there, and North Melbourne trickle along to 2-6-18. They still trail 5-5-35. Under 12 minutes remain in this last quarter.
So it'll be a throw in here in North Melbourne's forward 50. Right pocket. Got another chance here. Got a lot of work to do to make up that 17-point deficit. So there's still time to do it. 11 and a half minutes left in the fourth quarter here. Going up for the wrap contest there was Alexia Hamilton. The ball falls into the hands of Darebin. They get the kick just outside of their 50 and running onto it will again be none other than Caddy. She opts to take a bounce. She's caught.
Great tackle.
But the umpire calls play on. They've been letting a few balls go today. That's just yet another one of them. So it'll stay in the hands of Darebin though, and it's just a high ball to space. We mopped up there by Price. So Price will take it. She'll go for the short kick across to her teammate Eastman. So Eastman and Price have been strong in defence. Kicks a bit tough. It's a bit of a 1v1 here, and she's luckily, the ball will fall into the hands of Cowan, who's able to take the kick, but she just turns it over. And again, it'll be Darebin here who have a chance. And the free kick will go towards Darebin. Eastman's got something to say about that, because it was Eastman and Schneider who were holding it onto each other a little bit there. The free kick could have gone either way, but it'll go Schneider's way, despite Eastman's protest to the umpire. So she'll take the kick with Eastman standing on the 50-metre arc. Schneider will look at her options and she'll just pop it up. She finds her teammate, and there we go, she'll find Mifsud, who, like Coach Kiwi said, she's got a few mistakes to make up for late in that third term. Strong mark taken from Mifsud, who's taken a few strong grabs today, so she'll go for goal. She'll kick 20 metres out on an ankle as she kicks towards the swimming pool end. She's got a chance here to really ice the game for her side. Put her side 23 points up halfway through this fourth term. She puts it on the boot. She aims to swing it left. It swings left, but not enough. So it'll be a point there for Darebin. 5-6-36. They're leading North Melbourne 2-6-18. 9.5 minutes left to play.
So they really need to get a wriggle on here, North Melbourne, and they come straight up the guts, and the mark's taken by Hicks. What can they manufacture here in the last 10 minutes? She's called to go, and that's exactly what she does. Goes for a bit of a trot towards half back. The kick came off the side of her boot. This is going to go over the boundary line and out of play, and it's going to be a free kick to Samara David, who's been lively all day up forward. Her kick, geez, it come right off the side of her boot, but Ashley Gunn's got plenty of time and space, and she goes back to where it came from. So David just slows things down. She's called to go, and she's going to pump this one up towards half forward. Runnels sits under it. Kubash coming over the top was Keeley. Couldn't take the mark. They've got numbers out the back here though, North Melbourne. Price with a little kick, it was okay. Sarek, she just thumps this one on the boot. And sitting up to take the mark was Moore, had it fisted away from her. She's besieged upon by a host of Falcons. Skinner over the top as well. And we'll have a ball up here in the centre square. 8 minutes 45 remaining this last quarter. The Falcons lead at 5-6-36. North Melbourne 2-6-18. Falcons on track for their first win of the year from the ruck contest. Sarek got a little tap down. Kubash was in there, but the ball falls the way of Keeley. She pumps it inside 450. Hamilton takes it on the second bite. She pushes her opponent away, says, get off me. I need to move this ball quickly. She's 50 out from home. She's got options. One of them is Skinner. She gets out the back. Can she take the mark? Really good fist over. Skinner wins the ball and kicks it off the deck. Great goal. Sarah Skinner, they're in desperate need of that. And desperation pays off for Sarah Skinner. She gets the goal that they need, North Melbourne. 3-6-24. The Falcons 5-6-36, and the flame is still flickering, Coach Kiwi.
It certainly is. I was actually starting to question if it was. They were looking like they were the team 3 goals up. Some of their ball moved across the back, and just the way they held it to soak up time. It was rather bizarre tactics. But You know, after Keeley went up on the shoulders, they didn't quite grab the mark that time, but they just went straight up the guts, and Skinner knew that she had to get the ball forward and get it in the big six.
So finally, North Melbourne able to break that string of Darebin goals, 3 goals in a row. North Melbourne didn't score in the third term, but they've scored now. But it's Darebin who are able to push it ahead here, and they might just get one on the rebound. Running onto it, a little bit of a bounce is Simpson. She goes, she pops it onto the left boot. Thank you very much. She gets the reply. And Darebin get themselves back ahead by 18 points. They're leading by 3 goals here. Very quick with the reply there, Simpson, and she puts on her 4th goal for the day. She's been so damaging for Darebin. 6-6-42 Darebin leading North Melbourne, 3-6-24. What did you make of that, Coach Kiwi?
Oh, look, I actually thought Darebin had messed it up there on the edge of the 50, but Sally Lynch got it. She knocked it forward, and good on Steph Simpson. She knows how to use her body. She's got some great speed, and left or right foot, she's going to get the goal from that area.
So that goal really hurts North Melbourne. Sarek in the rug, she goes up, and I think the umpire's called a free kick off the ball. Hold to the captain, Megan Keeley. So she's going to try and answer back here. She plays on immediately, kick up towards half forward. Skinner's there over the top, couldn't take it. Going back with the fall of the ball was Lawson Tabbert. She gets a quick kick out towards her target. That was Smiljanic. She marks across half back here, outer side. She goes short. And Samara David, she's owned that outer side wing this quarter. Defensive side of the wing. 6 minutes to go here. Her side leaded by exactly 3 goals, and she pops a nice little kick over the top. Falcons just aiming to slightly slow this one down. Smiljanic. She goes with a kick up towards half forward. Mifsud's there as well. Eastman in there too. She paddles it along the ground. Quick little handball out. Hicks was there for North Melbourne. 1 possession of the football. Keeley couldn't take it on the first go. And there's going to be a free kick now going the way of the Falcons. And it will go to Buckley by the looks of it.
So it'll be Buckley here. 5.5 minutes left. Final term at Arden St. Darebin staring down the barrel of their first win for the day, and the umpire calls a 50 for encroaching the mark. So another 50 here. Geez, if Darebin can score for this, that's going to be extraordinarily costly for North Melbourne, and will completely put them out of the game.
Now that's an interesting one, because the ball was out of bounds, right? So she was kicking it in, yet the North player was inside the field.
Could have been a stand, I'm not sure.
Is that one of those ones where the umpire hasn't called played on yet?
And she stepped
Could be that
off
one.
line.
Yeah, it could be that one.
Well, I thought she was still getting to the mark. I didn't think she'd actually attempted to go.
Regardless, a little bit of a step in, goes far to the left, hits the left behind post, so out of bounds on the full. And it'll be North Melbourne here to take it in. 4.5 minutes left in the 4th term. So they'll have a chance here for North Melbourne. They're trailing by 18 points. They got 3 goals to make up and 4.5 minutes to do it. So it's a tough ask. There's options coming here. Fitzgerald, she's wide, calling for the ball. She doesn't quite get it from Price. Price obviously instead go for the pack, where it's cleaned up by Darebin. So they'll just make another little entry. It's not the cleanest kick inside, but it does the job. A few Darebin players able to get their hand on it. Brought into a pack there from some desperate attempts from North Melbourne coming for a few players there. So we'll have a ball out, ball up, 45 metres out from Darebin's goal. 4 minutes left on the clock here at Arden St. The ball goes up. Players go at it, just trying to grab it out of the ruck there with Sarah, but she couldn't gain possession, so it'll nearly falls in the hands of Darebin, but instead as Donald was able to take a nice mark. She gets it across to her teammate in Gashi. They're taking a few dangerous kicks here through the 50, but they're slowly getting the ball out. Gashi's trying to find more. He's not able to grab it. Falls to ground. Fitzgerald in amongst it. Paddles it along the ground a little bit because she can't take possession. Ball pops through Darebin player's legs into the hands of Camilleri. She's taken to ground, so it'll fall back into the hands of North Melbourne, who just clear the kick away. The umpire blows their whistle though.
Trainer, the runner, I think, for the Falcons got in the way there.
So unlucky there. And it'll be North Melbourne who restart that play a little bit after the runner was in the amongst there from Moore. North Melbourne get on a little bit of a run here. Nice kick from Keeley into the 50, but it just falls straight
and another one
of David. And it'll be another 50-metre penalty. So Darebin, their third, have benefited from the 4th. Thought it was the 3rd, but it's the 4th ball. The 4th 50-metre penalty they've from today.
So whether or not it's ill-disciplined, that probably was. Didn't need to push David in the back there, and the umpire says, let's get a wriggle on. And she goes short. The kick should have been marked there. Lets North Melbourne in, and a quick kick forward there by Gashi. David with the fist over the top. In hot pursuit of the football was Cox. She kicked it along the ground in front of her. She's got time and space to pick it up. She does that indeed. Steps around one opponent, gets the handball inside. Falcons do well defensively. Keeley in there, the captain for North. She's trying to will her side forward. Can't do so. 2 minutes remain here. North trail by 3 goals. Looks an impossible task. David over the football. Won a little handball out. Ball still in dispute. Neither team able to win clean possession. Keeley went back in there. Couldn't win the football. They flick it out the back here, the Falcons. And Gunn getting on the end of it. Kicks it out towards half forward. And there's going to be a free kick, I think, downfield. Not sure of the Falcons player down, but she was cleaned up as she kicked the football. And it's going to be a free kick the way of the Falcons. Trickle down now to 1 minute 30 remain. The Falcons are going to get their first win of the year, 6-6-42. North Melbourne 3-6-24. It was Callanan who went down, I think. Yeah. So free kick to go the way of the Falcons.
So the Falcons have got a chance here. Can they just add on a nice little goal to enjoy it? They will. They'll start to go forward here. They've got a really good chance to do it. Caddy obviously had a hand in that. She's had a hand in a lot of great plays today. And she's on the opposite side of the wing. She had another hand in that. The ball goes for a throw-in. Just a minute left in this game. 6-6-42. Darebin leading North Melbourne 3-6-24. Wind's picking up a little bit here at Arden Street. The sun's well and truly gone away, so the ball's thrown in. Up to the tap out there again was Kubash, who's able to get it across. It just bounces towards Darebin's half-forward line, but it's able to be cleaned up by North Melbourne. And they'll send the ball the other way. Amelan's in amongst it, trying to get the ball out there. Cox is also around for North Melbourne, trying to make something out of nothing. They're able to get the ball, Darebin. A little bit of a side, North Melbourne, sorry, a little bit of a sidestep, and the ball falls into the hands of Keeley, who makes a little kick and gets it across to Skinner. Skinner just plays on immediately, and she pops up to her teammate who can't hold on, or yes? Chopped. So the umpire hasn't paid the mark, and she's paid chopped, so it'll be Alexia Hamilton, who will probably take this kick likely after the siren. Try and get a consolation goal for here for North Melbourne. Alexia Hamilton kicked a goal today, and no matter what this score is, it'll be Darebin who will be celebrating on the siren with their first win for today, or for the year, getting the 4 points today. The siren goes. Darebin players have started clapping. Alexia Hamilton will take her run in though. She pops it on the boot, and she eases it through the middle. Great kick there from Alexia Hamilton to kick her second goal of the day. But it's the Darebin players who are shouting here with their first win of the season. 6-6-42. They've come to Arden Street, defeated the homeowners here, North Melbourne 4-6-30. 12 points the margin in what was quite a fantastic game of football.
Goal kickers as well. Well, Simpson, 4 goals. What a performance from her. Clearly one of the best on. Byrne with 1 as well. Buckley with 1. Caddy with 1 as well. She deserves her goal too. Alexia Hamilton with a double. Skinner with 1. And Fitzgerald with 1. Coach Kiwi, well, probably one of the upsets of the year. I think Darebin get their first win on the board, and they were fantastic today. Clearly the better team after quarter time.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the first half, I guess, was a very even game. And both teams had really good patches of play. It was high tackle pressure all around the ground. And, you know, really Darebin just controlled it. You know, credit to them. And I guess it's the experienced players in that team that really shone. I thought Gina Lawson-Tavern was awesome down the back line. And Carly McNeese, she had quite an impact down there. And they're moving the ball forward. You know, Sammy David, that little, you know, she's got a burst of speed and just, you know, makes a big difference when she gets the ball in her hands and takes it on. And Steph Simpson, fantastic. And even the midfielders with Byrne and Alan Buckley, I thought they were really hungry and won a lot of contested balls through there. And, you know, Sydney Kubash, she wins so many hit-outs, and I just think there's just more that they can make use of those hit-outs. You know, I reckon they're probably, at the moment, probably only using about 40% of the possession that she provides for that team. So, you know, imagine if they can change that up to even 60%, what a difference it'll make for Darebin.
And she brings an aggression to that part of the ground that I think you need as well. You know, she's got the big build and you she doesn't handball the ball. She punches it when she handballs it.
Absolutely.
And I think that aggression around the contest is what really came to the fore for them today. And you make mention of Samara David too. Her ability to keep her width and own that wing out there as well. That was a big focal point in the last quarter there when North Melbourne tried to get back into that game, and then hits it back as well. Or as soon as North Melbourne got that goal, you thought maybe they could get up a little bit of momentum, and bang, it was washed out straight away.
And that just shows the spirit that they had when Simpson went back and she put on her fourth goal and just, like you said, watch that little comeback that might have been coming. We look at the big smiles on these Darebin players. High fives are plenty. High fives left, right and centre here as they celebrate. They're clapping as they walk over their fans and they walk off the ground here. They've got the 4 points. Jeez, it's probably a bit of a relief to them, Mitch Scully, to get those 4 points. And in a fantastic performance here, I think it was something that they put on a show and they won comprehensively and convincingly. So they'll go into the change rooms and they will sing their song very proudly today. You can hear their fans as they clap them off the ground here. Quite a few fans came out today. What probably wasn't the greatest day for watching footy. A little bit wintry, windy, a
That's
bit
the
of rain.
perfect day.
Perfect day. Not a lot of cover here at North Melbourne when you've only got hills to sit on. But gee, the Darebin fans that came out, they've been rewarded.
Now, might I just say too, and we picked it up in the match briefing before the game started, that the positive vibe that Mitch Scully gave off before the first ball was even bouncing. They were beaten comprehensively last week by 10 goals against the Southern Saints, who are in a similar spot on the table to North Melbourne. It just shows if you bring the heat, you bring the pressure. And he was happy with the way they controlled the ball last week, just the forward 50 entries. Clearly cleaned that up today. Whether or not it was, again, North Melbourne sort of being 5 to 10% down on what they may have been in previous weeks. But credit to the Falcons, they were fantastic today. Who do we think was the pick a player of the game, Coach Kiwi? I know that there are a few out there, but tough to probably pick one, I reckon.
Yeah, look, Caddy was pretty outstanding. She had a lot of possessions. It depends. Do you go negative possession when you give it away, as she did a couple of those times?
I think her impact outweighed a couple of mistakes, or that key mistake on the outer side of the ground in the second quarter. I think her impact went far beyond that.
Yeah, and credit to her, she covered both ends. Like she was solid when she had to come into the defensive line, and then she provided a lot of options through the forward line. And probably, I guess, most of her ball use was actually through the middle of the ground. So, fantastic young player she is.
And her and Samara David, when you've got those two working in conjunction and working on the wing and working through the midfield, I think you've got a nice little combination you can build on if you're Darebin.
Absolutely. I was actually surprised early on that they, didn't really mark her up very tightly. She had just so much space to get out and around. And when a player has sleeves on, they're easy to spot anywhere. But she kept getting possession.
So is that why she's wearing the long sleeves?
I don't know, maybe, but they just didn't find her. It's a little bit like Georgia Prasparkas. You can spot her anywhere, and they get a lot of possession. So you get someone on the show, the one with the sleeves, that one. But
she lives up to the sleeves though, which was worthy.
She did indeed, and just way too much space. Absolutely, but I thought Skinner was very, very solid for North. She had a lot, and their captain Meg Keeley, she was outstanding, and she's a Tasmanian product. She's fantastic, and I know she lives in Melbourne. She spent a little bit of time in Sydney, but certainly North. They want a high-flying midfielder. Meg Keeley is just a terrific young player.
Yeah, but we mentioned Runnels. Obviously, she was in amongst everything today for North Melbourne. Thought Eastman and Price did what they could along the back line. They tried to slow things down and regain a little bit of possession for their club. So I think they did what they could for North Melbourne, despite them going down today and being under a lot of pressure in that defensive 50.
I think Molly Eastman may want to go and work with flat kicks. Just saying.
But yeah.
And there was that moment too in the last quarter as well where they just getting the ball at halfback, they weren't direct, they were trying to switch it and go laterally, and just in those moments, you're chasing the game, you sort of got to come up the middle, get the ball up the guts, and I think they sort of looked dangerous when they tried to, but Falcons, to their credit, were fantastic defensively. Lauren, if you had to pick out one player today out of the bunch, who would it be the best on ground?
I know we were talking about Caddy. I probably would have been leaning towards her. Obviously, Simpson with 4 goals. I like the way she manufactured them.
Yep.
Some were set shots, some were hard working, and some were just pulled out of her pushing on the left boot because she's got the skills and she's got the talent. And I think that one, the rebounding kick when North Melbourne had just scored a goal in that last quarter, when she just came in, popped it on the boot and got the goal, I think that was really important for them just to calm down, ice the game and really quash any thoughts of North Melbourne rebellion late. Yeah,
for me it had to be Elise Caddy. I thought her game was fantastic. She provided an outlet when the ball was out across the wing and half forward and half back for the Falcons. And I think especially at VFLW level and also across this league, is that if you've got those players who are able to link up on the outside and provide, be that third or fourth person in the chain and work the ball forward, just so important in gaining territory. And she got the goal she deserved as well, and I thought she was fantastic all day. And just a quick little around the grounds update. Port Melbourne skipping out to a big lead against the Western Bulldogs, the league leaders. Port Melbourne 6-6-42 to the Bulldogs 1-2-8, and Casey trailed Geelong 2-2-14 to Geelong 3-1-19. And we can confirm now that Adelaide are definitely into the AFLW Grand Final again. They defeated Melbourne 5-3-33 to the Demons 1-5-9. And the goal kickers in that one, just quickly, Erin Phillips with 2, Hatchard with 1, Jones and Shear with 1 apiece. And it was Orr the only goal scorer for Melbourne in that one. So Crows into another grand final. Can Erin Phillips do it again?
Yes.
That's the question. She's
another ACL.
Freak of nature. No.
Sorry.
No. We won't go into that. But no, so positive things there for Adelaide. And the game later today, which is going to be playing, I think, 20 minutes at the Gabba, Brisbane playing against Collingwood for a spot in the AFLW Grand Final, which will be played at Adelaide Oval now that Adelaide have won that game. So tomorrow we've got a big game, 2 traditional rivals, Carlton and Collingwood, going head-to-head VFLW action. Don't forget to tune into that one from 1 p.m. I'm thinking that's going to be live streamed as well on the videos feed. Yes, it will be indeed. So make sure you tune into that game as well. That'll be an intriguing game. That'll be a very intriguing game. Carlton
said it like it was a...
Carlton are up and about. Carlton are actually up and about, are they not?
Yeah, they. Jen Lou, I noticed, wasn't on the list. What's happened to Jen Lou?
I couldn't tell you. Carlton kept that one. They've kept that one under wraps, I think. So we'll keep an eye out for that as well. But the Blues building towards something nicely, I think, towards the back end of this year. So keep an eye out for them